The Jason Gregor Show.
On the rolling puck, puts it in.
On Sports 1440.
Got clock at 7, drives, pulls back, drives it in, stops, pulls down, gets it to Williams, 3-pointer. It's good. Jalen Williams with a big bucket.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
And here's a well-hit ball down the line. It's gone. And there's a first-inning run. And how about home run number 8 on the season for Dalton Varsho?
What a terrific Tuesday afternoon. How are you? And welcome to the Jason Gregor Show. Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. We'll do this on the fly just so this looks a little bit better. There we go. There we go. So how you doing? It is the Gregor Show, presented as always by PlayAlberta.ca. And maybe you're feeling confident that the Edmonton Oilers are going to get a victory tonight. Maybe you could get a victory as well. Get your tickets. PlayAlberta.ca. The Lotto Max, $10 million. The Derek Ryan of Lotto Max. Tonight, get your tickets at PlayAlberta.ca. Now, if you want your seat to the Oiler games, you get it here tonight at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. Stop in, see the gang. I have an unreal place to watch the game. Great atmosphere. People are pretty fired up. And, of course, you have lots of good specials on a Tuesday afternoon. It's guess what their weekly taco is. It's a can't miss. A can't miss for tacos. The Donair taco. So tonight, Donair's, of course, special drinks. They got DJ Deadly Nedley was in the house during intermission and stuff. So you'll be entertained, well-fed, and everything else. So it should be good. 833-401-1440. 833-401-1440. What is your thoughts tonight for the Oilers? How confident are you? Because the Edmonton Oilers, I like to call this Oiler time right now. You get into games 4 through 7, this is where the Oilers dominate. And when I say dominate, I'm not exaggerating. They're 16-2 under Chris Knobloch last year and this year in games 4, 5, 6, and 7. They haven't lost a game 4. They are 6-0 with Chris Knobloch. They've had 2 shutouts. They won a game in overtime. They won close games. They've come from behind 2-0, actually to the Dallas Stars last year when they trailed 2-0 before reeling off 5 consecutive goals. Now, the Oilers, if you recall, they were actually down 2-1 in that series. Got down 2-1 in the first 2-0 in the first 5 minutes and 39 seconds before they stormed back 2 goals in the first. Then they scored 2 more in the second and got an empty netter in the third to skate away with a 5-2 win. Then they went to Dallas, won game 6. Good night, Irene. And the Edmonton Oilers tonight have a huge opportunity to take a stranglehold. Because, hey, as you all know, I'm a big fan of numbers because the numbers lots of times will tell you the story. So listen to this win percentage. So the Oilers lost the first game of the series. When you do, historically in a best of 7, you're 123, 368. So basically a 25% chance to win. Now the Oilers tied it up. 1-1. You're the team who starts on the road. Now your record moves up to 44.7% chance to win. The Oilers won game 3. Now they're up to a 61.3% chance based on history. Now look at tonight. Here's the difference. If the Oilers win tonight, and they're the team who starts on the road, which they are, they win tonight, then they've, based on past history, 88.2% of the time you win the series. They're 112-15. Teams that are up 3-1 in the series when they're going back on the road for game 5. Now, if the series gets tied tonight, now it's a best of 3. Your chance historically is 41%. So you go from 88 to 41. That's why it's a massive game for the Edmonton Oilers. And they've shown the last few years that they can take care of business. When they have an opportunity, they're 9-1 in games where they can eliminate a team or be eliminated. So whether they're fighting for their life or they're wanting to knock someone out, they've done very good. Now, tonight won't be an official elimination game, but it puts Dallas a lot closer. Do I think the Stars could win 3 straight against the Oilers? Not the way the series has gone thus far. The Oilers have dominated this series outside of 1 period. 5 goals against in game 1, period 3. The other 8 periods, the Oilers have outscored them 12-2. Now, Dallas did play well in the second period in Edmonton 2 nights ago, 2 afternoons ago, I guess we should say. And Stuart Skinner was very solid. Connor McDavid scored a goal late, made the period 1-1. So even when Dallas was able to be the better team in the period, they came out even, and then the Oilers took over in the third. But this is a massive game for the Oilers tonight. And the way they're playing, their focus, everything, I'd go to playalberta.ca and I'd probably put some shekels down on the Oilers to win. I just think they've been the better team for much of the series. I think they're focused. I think they're faster. Dallas has way too many players, all playoffs. It's not just this series, but all playoffs, who have yet to find a way to contribute offensively 5-on-5. Look at this series alone. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 5-on-5, has more assists than the entire Dallas team at 5-on-5. He has 5. The Stars have a total of 4 total assists. They've only scored 3 goals 5-on-5. The Oilers have scored 9. Oilers have 6 players with a goal 5-on-5. The Stars have 2. Tyler Seguin has 2 goals. Jason Robertson, that deflection last game, has the other one. That's it. Wyatt Johnson, Jamie Benn, Mikko Rantanen, Rupe Hintz, Marcus Granlund. Go down the list of guys, Marchment, that they need to show up offensively. Can't really say that about the Oilers. They got a lot of guys going. They will have a change in the lineup tonight for the Oilers. Victor Arvidsson's in. Connor Brown's out. We said that yesterday. That's what happens today. The Oilers are not rushing Matthias Ekholm back. Doesn't matter if there was a potential for 11-7. They're not doing it, nor should they. Meanwhile, Rupe Hintz, he did skate yesterday, was out, full participant in practice. I'd be stunned if he didn't play tonight. And they're going to need him. So I would expect Rupe Hintz to come back in. I thought Blackwell actually played quite well for Dallas. Created a lot with the speed. He's obviously not a top-line player, but he added something because they need a lot of guys going. They don't have very many guys. I mentioned 2 goals from Seguin, 1 goal from Robertson. Rantanen has 1 assist 5-on-5. Sam Steele has an assist 5-on-5. And then you got the defenseman, Leon Bichelle. That's it. Nada. The Oilers, they got lots of guys. 3 guys with 2 goals 5-on-5 already in McDavid, Bouchard, and Hyman. I mentioned Nugent-Hopkins has 5 assists. Draisaitl's got a goal point. They got lots of guys. So the Oilers 5-on-5 are feeling it infinitely more. Hey, Gregor, Stu's 5-0 in game 4. I think he's actually 6-0 if we're going to be technically correct. Now, keep in mind, there was one game he got pulled. He didn't get the record, so that's fine. But yes, he has officially never been handed a loss in game 4 in his career. So last year and this year, he is 5-0 in game 4s. So not bad. No, he'd be 4-0 because Calvin Pickard played game 4 against Vancouver last year, and Calvin Pickard played game 4 against LA this season. So Skinner won game 1, series 1. He won series 3, won series 4, and of course beat Vegas. So I look at the Oilers, and I like the fact that the longer the series goes, the better they get. And I give a big credit to the coaching staff. I think they, even from the get-go, they have a plan. They're able to adjust. They make better adjustments. I think that's the biggest difference I've seen from Knobloch to Jay Woodcroft. And I throw in Paul Coffey there as well, is that I think this coaching staff is better at making in-series adjustments, in-game adjustments, and even their pre-scout from the goalies, which is Schwartz, to the opposition. They said, we got to limit Dallas off the rush. That's Dallas's bread and butter, and so we're going to limit him off the rush. So here's what's happened through 3 games. The Oilers have had 55 rush chances. Dallas has had 47. Odd man rushes, Edmonton 13, Dallas 5. Scoring chances off the rush, Edmonton 20, Dallas 9. Goals off the rush, Edmonton 5, Dallas 1. And then here's the other one that's interesting. And these are all courtesy of Megan Shaika. To get the goalie in motion side to side, the Oilers have done it 4 times. The Stars have done it 0. 0. Right? Kevin Woodley taught every goalie has a little bit of a weakness. Stuart Skinner off the rush. That's an area. that's not his best. Well, guess what? So protected. Look at the numbers. He's been excellent. Stuart Skinner, last year, what did Woodley tell us? He was top 5 on plays off the end zone. Well, he continues to be excellent there. He's made some big saves when needed. He was outstanding in that second period against the Oilers in game 3. And hey, he doesn't have to win you the game, although he's shown he can hold you in it. Actually, he's shown he can win it, like game 6 last year against Dallas. But the way the Oilers are playing, they don't even need McDavid or Draisaitl to win them the game. Think about it. How many games have the Oilers won? I would say Leon Draisaitl in game 3 against Vegas or game 2? Whatever that when they won 4-3 and Draisaitl scored the overtime winner. Maybe that was even LA now that I think about it. And he had 4 points. They won 4-3. That's the game where, okay, Draisaitl major factor. How many games has McDavid carried them? And that's not a knock on him. I'm just saying that's how well the team's played. So that's a good thing. If you don't need McDavid and Draisaitl, you shouldn't say, well, I need Stuart Skinner to win me a game. But he can if need be. Obviously, Draisaitl and McDavid can if push comes to shove, but they got so many other guys contributing, you don't necessarily need it. Like, think about last game. McDavid had 2 goals. I thought he played really well. But if you listed the 3 stars, Skinner, Nugent Hopkins, and Hyman were probably ahead of McDavid. And that's crazy. It's a good problem to have. Whereas Dallas, they're not on the same boat. They need a lot of guys to step up. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. The other change for the Oilers roster tonight, Calvin Pickard will be the backup. And I know that people, does that mean he's going to push Skinner? No. He's coming in, and I think having him as the backup is a much better security blanket than Olivier Rodrigue. You might never see Pickard, but I'm telling you, if I'm a coach, if I'm the player, that to me is a luxury I'd rather have, is Pickard over Rodrigue. Now, the one interesting question tonight will be, what's the Oilers' line combination going to be? Will we see Draisaitl back with McDavid? This is what I'm going to guess, and we won't know until warm-up. And we all know that in-game it changes. But I won't be surprised if they start McDavid, Draisaitl, Perry, Kane, Nugent Hopkins, Hyman. Nugent Hopkins and Hyman run real last game. So, Nugent Hopkins, when he's moved to center in the playoffs, he's been excellent. So you can do it. Then the bottom 6, you could go back to Janmark, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson. They played as a line before Kapanen came in. They played quite well. Then you would have Kapanen, Henrique, and Frederick. All right, we've seen different combinations throughout the playoffs. We saw some different lines. Late in that second period, Knobloch said, okay, enough's enough. We're getting shelled here. Let's change the lines. And it worked because McDavid scored late in the period, and then the Oilers outscored him 3-0. I know the last goal was on the power play, but they still got some production from the Kane-Hyman combination. So if it's me, I would go with the Kane-Hyman-Nugent Hopkins line. I just think they're good because I know that Draisaitl and McDavid can play well together. And you can play Perry there, and, he's smart enough to play with those guys. He doesn't have to be a difference maker. And you know what? They don't have a Jack Eichel. Like, I know you got Rupe Hintz, and so we'll see kind of what the line combinations are potentially. But Rupe Hintz, he's not Jack Eichel right now. And it's a little different a winger. So we'll see. I think, and we all know if Corey Perry plays there, doesn't play there every shift. Defense is not going to change. Bouchard is going to play with Kulak. Nurse is going to play with Stetcher. Klingberg will stay with Wallman, although Nurse and Kulak will likely start the game. That's been something that's been a trend. Paul Coffey likes it. Likes him to start the game. Maybe they're a little bit superstitious, or maybe they're just a little stitious. Either way, it has worked. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Few other notes from around the NHL. I think good news if you're an Oilers fan, Carolina extends the Eastern Conference Final, because if you're thinking ahead and the Oilers are going to win, you want their opposition to maybe get another nick here or there, get some fatigue factor. Carolina wins that game. They extend it to 5. They're back on home ice. Maybe they could push it to 6. I'm still taking Florida in that series. I don't think there's any chance Carolina wins 4 in a row. But I shouldn't say that. There's a chance. I think it's a very, very small chance. Some other news today. Former Edmonton Oiler Mike Pekka has been announced as an assistant coach with the Chicago Blackhawks. Anders Sorensen will also be an assistant under Jeff Blashill. So Mike Pekka, of course, played a big part in the Oilers' run to the 2006 Stanley Cup final. He will join the Blackhawks behind the bench. Connor Halley back at Sports 1440 Studios. Conman, how you doing?
Jason, doing really good. Walked down to Popeyes for a little bite to eat this fine day. Raise some money for the Ben Stelter Foundation, and looking forward to the game tonight. It's going to be a fun one.
What'd you get at Popeyes?
I got the chicken strips, actually, with fries and a Coke.
Ooh, all right.
And they'll ask if you want to make an extra donation to the Ben Stelter Foundation, which you can do, which I did. So, yeah, it was a good day. Good day to go get some chicken.
It is Ben's today would have been Ben's birthday. Well, it's still his birthday. It was the day he was born.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're honoring young Ben today at all Popeyes locations, where you stop in at Popeyes, and portions of the proceeds will go towards the Ben Stelter Foundation. And as I was leaving the rink today, I had ran into some I don't know if they were touring around. I'm not sure what they were doing at the building, but anyway, there was a few of them there, a few young fans, and they're pretty fired up, and we're like confident that the Oilers are going to win because it's Ben's birthday. So they're going to give a young shout out to Steve, Paul, and Andrew, three young guys who real diehard super fans who are around the rink today. Also saw a bunch of fans as I was driving out. Some guys wearing hockey equipment and a full jersey with a sign that's like honk for the Oilers. Guys got to be sweating bullets out there. Now, today's not as hot as yesterday, but it's still going to be 23, 24 degrees, man. You're out there with goalie pads on. He's got the mask on. He's got the jersey. Like, you know me, I don't like being hot. So the first thing I thought is that guy's got to be sweating bullets. You better have a water bottle with him. So a few other news and notes. Did you see it last night? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropped 40 points. But he have 10 boards, 9 assists, or 9 assists, 10 boards. I can't remember which one. Either way, a huge win for them. They are now up 3-1. And the Canadian connection, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Lou Dort, who was named to the NBA's all-defensive team after Gilgeous-Alexander was named the MVP, they're 1 win away from an NBA final. And regardless of who wins the NBA championship this year, Cons, that's going to mark 7 years in a row with 7 different winners in the NBA. It's tough to go back-to-back now in the NBA. Used to be able to do it quite often, but now not as much. Maybe has to do with something, the player movement, possibly. Like you get some big teams are all trying to, chase the ring together and move around, and I'm not sure it's really worked for a lot of the teams. Like OKC is definitely not one who has chased it, right? Indiana made some trades, but they didn't chase it. The Knicks made some trades, but they haven't been signing guys to a super team. Do you think that phenomenon might be slowing down at all? Like you had it where, you know what, this guy's going here, we're going here, and it kind of started. I don't know. It became really big with Miami, of course, when Bosch and LeBron went there, and I get it. But I don't know, man. It seems like it's kind of starting to fizzle out a little bit.
Yeah, kind of had it with the Celtics too, with Ray Allen, Garnett, Paul Pierce. Pierce obviously being there from the beginning. Even the Lakers tried to remember when Steve Nash.
Well, Ray Allen though was near the end, right? But yeah, that's fair.
He was still really good.
Still
right?
good shooter,
shots,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like maybe this is a new generation back to like, I don't want to be that guy listed with the super team. Some fans, loved LeBron and that Heat team, but there was a lot of people that still said like, yeah, well, you didn't really win it on your own. You have to go build that super team. And I wonder if that's the new generation, maybe the Ant Edwards, the SGAs. Like, I want to build my legacy with one team. I don't want the people to immediately, when we win, throw that in my face. Let's win it with the team we're drafted by. I know SGA was traded, but just doing it with that team. And, you're kind of seeing that trend now, like you said.
Yeah, it's interesting. And I think it's not just the players. It's maybe some organizations too that are looking and saying, yeah, like, does the quick fix really work? Like, look at Kevin Durant later after winning. He just kind of bounced around and didn't have much success with it. So things change like anything. I'm sure at some point you'll probably see it again, but right now definitely doesn't seem to be the case. 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Take a quick break. Coming up on the show today, Ryan Whitney, former Oiler from Spit and Chicklets, will join us right away. We got TR, Dave McCarthy, Spec, Struddy. Loaded show. We'll talk some football as well. The Elks getting closer to their second and final preseason game. Of course, Friday night at home. No Oiler games. You got the Oilers on Thursday. You can see the Elks on Friday, and maybe there'll be an Oiler game Saturday, or maybe have a weekend off. My understanding is if Florida ends the series tomorrow and Edmonton manages to end it on Thursday, Stanley Cup final likely will begin like the next Wednesday or Thursday. If those series extend into the weekend, then you might not see the Cup start until the following Saturday. Now, remember, last year, that's basically what happened because the teams wrapped up on June 1st and 2nd, respectively, and then the Stanley Cup final started on June 8th, the Saturday. They played the Saturday, the Tuesday, and they have 2 days in between games 2 and 3, games 4 and 5, 5 and 6, and 6 and 7 due to travel and everything else. So there you go. So it might start Wednesday or Thursday, depending on how quick the conference finals finish, or you're looking at the following Saturday. Take a quick break. We'll return on the Rocks, Jasper Avenue, 118th.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, relenting since 1999.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference. Yes, fittedgolf.ca.
At Hughes, it's all about getting in and out quick and clean. No cash, no problem. With Hughes' new tap and wash system, all you need is your debit or credit card to get your vehicle sparkling clean.
Find us at hughescarwash.com.
Bringing every project to life requires the right team. By joining the Japa Machinery Group service or sales teams, you can be part of setting a new industry standard. Celebrating a legacy of excellence with Japa. Learn more at japamachinery.com.
It's playoff time, and we've got a lot to talk about. This is Andrew Walker on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. Tune in after every playoff game for the Ridge Social Leadery postgame show. The Ridge is the new hotspot in St. Albert, and it's so good.
Experience more at the Edmonton Expo Center. Come for Canada's largest trade show, the biggest names in entertainment, exhilarating sporting events, and more. Stay for the experience. But it doesn't end there. Maximize your brand exposure with Edmonton Expo Center's new cutting-edge feature screens, spanning Western Canada's largest venue space. Captivate an annual audience of over 1 million visitors during iconic events like Pro Rodeo, Disney on Ice, Glow, K-Days, and so much more. To learn more, call 780-660-0514 or visit edmontonexpocenter.com today.
Whether you're a craft beer connoisseur or more of a wine aficionado, there's always something new to discover at Sherbrooke Liquor, a unique family-owned independent liquor store. The selection, incredible. The non-alcohol section is also very impressive. Sherbrooke Liquor, expert, knowledgeable staff with a passion for unique finds. More than just a liquor store, we're a community. Alberta's best, the one and only Sherbrooke Liquor. Wine, spirits, and oodles of beer. Visit SherbrookeLiquor.com.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Hey, Gary, is that your dad?
No, this is Evan, the new sales rep I hired.
Oh.
First impressions matter, but when hair loss takes over, it can feel like you're not being seen for the maverick you truly are. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we know that hair loss is more than just a cosmetic issue. It's personal. Let's discuss all the cutting-edge options available so you can make a great impression every time.
Book a free consultation today at drvanceelliott.com.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Party people! Tag team music in full effect. That's me, DC.
Portions of this hour brought to you by On the Rocks. Watch every Oilers game at OTR with $5.25 Molson Canadian, $5 Pink Whitney shots, and 60-cent wings. Plus, play Oilers score and win for your chance to win On the Rocks gift cards. Oilers hockey at OTR. Book your table today. Jasper Ave in 118th.
The Jason Gregor Show. The best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
225. Welcome back. OTR, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. Your place to watch the game tonight. Also, of course, it's Donaires. Taco Donaires tonight. Ooh. I saw a guy just order some. Now I'm jealous. I might have to go check it out. Jasper Ave, 118th. Now, let's get to the oil report brought to you by Volvo Cars Edmonton. The May Day event on now until the end of the month. XC60s, XC90 plug-in hybrids. You can get them at 1.49% financing and save an additional $5,000 on the XC90 and $3,000 on the XC60. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com. We're joined by former NHLer, former Edmonton Oiler, and of course, one of the faces of Spitting Chicklets, Ryan Whitney. Whit, my man, how you doing?
Greg, what's going on, buddy? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, buddy, thanks for coming on. We appreciate it. I know what Oiler fans appreciate have someone in online who obviously is a former Oiler. You're pretty much a vocal Oiler supporter. You have a lot more success than Biz. How fun is it for you to see, like, I know the Oilers lost in the Cup, but at least they know how to win more rounds. Like, do you are you just giving Biz like text after text laughing at his Maple Leafs?
I just actually feel bad for him at this point, and now he's back on bringing back the core four, as he calls it. So he went off on Marner and then now wants him back, but only at a certain number. And him just being a Leafs fan, like, I actually feel bad for all Leafs fans now. It's gone past the point of laughing at them and just being like, wow, you truly are a tortured bunch. And if you watch the team play and then you think year after year, this is the year, and year after year, it's never the year. It's at some point, as a fan of a very, very successful team the past 4 seasons, you just feel bad.
Well, you know what? There's nothing worse than when you pity a team and their fans. That's like the ultimate I get it. I don't disagree with you, but that's the ultimate of how low it's gone in Toronto.
Yeah, like, it's not even fun to make fun of you anymore because it's just so pathetic. And year after year, you tell me how good you are and how great it is and how this is the year, and it never is the year. So at some point, it's like people do not care to listen to you anymore and genuinely feel bad. It's like, imagine we're being there. Like, we're the Oilers. We're trying to go up 3-1 in the conference final tonight. And you got Toronto that thinks winning the first round is just raising a mug. It's crazy.
So, Witz, I want to get your thoughts on the Oilers, and obviously the playoffs didn't start great for them. Maybe it was a little bit of rust from guys not playing, who knows, but it was a tough first 2 games. But since then, they're 10-2. They've dominated some games where they didn't give up anything. What's impressed you more, or maybe that's caught your attention more about this team this year than last?
That's a great question. I think that last year, seeing McDavid and Leon doing what they did and actually like just dominating to even a different level. I mean, I know the year before Leon against Calgary had been something we'd never seen and things like that, but it's not just about them this year. And even last year getting to the finals, it's not just going to be about them, but more so this year. I mean, the guys that have been playing that no one really expected maybe some of this from is just wild to me. And for me, I mentioned on Chicklets today, Evan Bouchard, well, having a couple rough games in LA to start the playoffs, he's been, I mean, the best defenseman throughout the playoffs, no doubt, for any team. And watching Hyman and him being this physical and hitting this much, and Nugent Hopkins with a little bit of a slow start, him turning it on, and him being the longest tenured Oiler and an Oiler when I was there, which is crazy. I mean, that was 14 years ago, I think, 12 years ago maybe. And just to see all these guys come together and then have Kane come back and be as good as he was, and having him injured at last year, I mean, you could tell there wasn't much there in the conference final and the final. And now to see him healthy and playing this way, but being healthy after having tough surgery throughout the season, it's just so impressive. And to do it without Ekholm, that's something that is shocking to me. When he went down, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if they'll be able to get through the West, and they haven't done it yet. But what they've done without him is wild. And shout out Stan Bowman. I mean, bringing in Jake Wallman, I mean, he was great in San Jose, but you wonder, is that just because you're getting power play minutes that you won't have here? He's been phenomenal. The Klingberg story for me, it goes on and on. Every guy on the roster you look at, and you're so impressed with what they've been able to do in the playoffs after a regular season that, besides a little bit in November, it was kind of like, what's going on here? Like, is this team, are they never going to figure it out? And then 2 games first round, I'm like, they might be done. And thank God for Jim Hiller and one of the worst coaching challenges in the history of the NHL. And we're here now.
Yeah. Ryan Whitney from Spinning Chicklets, former NHLer, joins us. I want to go to Dallas. It's pivotal. The Edmonton Oilers are 16-2. With under Knobloch in games 4-7. They're 6-0 in game 4. It's a massive game, to either you get back to even if you're, or, you can get up 3-1. Obviously you can sweep in the rare case or be like Carolina and save the execution for another day or two. But you look at Dallas, and I outlined it before the series. Everyone is like, oh, their depth's good. I'm like, well, it was in the regular season, but their depth has stunk in the playoffs as far as 5-on-5 scoring. And you look at this series, it's no different. Edmonton's outscoring them 9-3, 5-on-5. They got 2 guys with goals. The Oilers have 6. Nugent Hopkins has more assists himself 5-on-5 than the entire Stars team does. What is Dallas not doing? What do you see as their biggest issue 5-on-5?
I don't know if it's different. All right, so I was thinking about this today and talking to Biz. It's like they're not a super fast team, right?
No,
like even Rantanen when he gets going, yeah, but they're not a quick team. And Edmonton, and I think Knobloch, looking at the series and all the pre-scout, like, they can't skate with us when we're going. And the way he rolls lines, and like even Kapanen coming in, how well he skates, and the fact that you have Leon with 2 fourth liners, basically, that spreads out all this other wealth all over the rest of the lineup. So I don't necessarily know if it's Dallas, like it's just Edmonton and just imposing their will and their speed. And when you can skate like that and bring the physicality they have, it's almost like Dallas doesn't really have answers. Like, I will say, I have no idea what's going on with Wyatt Johnson, and it seems like I thought there'd be a lot more there from him the entire playoff. I know he had the big goal, Game 7 against Colorado, but looking at his game, and I know plus minus is looked at way differently now with analytics, but minus 17 is crazy. And Duchesne's minus 13. And I don't know, does Duchesne even have a 5-on-5 goal? And It's just crazy to see that these guys throughout the year that they really relied upon to kind of dominate 5-on-5 throughout the time, the regular season, they're just not there. And you look at the Colorado series, I was talking to Andrew Cogliano, who's working with Colorado now. He's like, 5-on-5, it was nothing. They had nothing for us. And then they lived on the power play in Game 7, Rantanen went super mode, but it's more about Edmonton and how I love how he rolls lines, and he's been able to do that because where Leon is playing and who he's playing with, it's just like every other line, has enough to basically be out there against any line that Dallas puts over the ice. So I want to say, what is Dallas doing wrong? I don't really know, because I just look at it from an Edmonton point of view where they're so relentless. And then when they get going, and that's why game one was so frustrating, because it's like, God, some of these penalties are so dumb. And if you guys have seen the first two periods here, they cannot play with you. So that's why, like, the nurse slash, which, I mean, this is playoff hockey. We interviewed Craig Ludwig today, former Dallas Star, two-time Stanley Cup champ. Even he said that's just part of the game. Like, it sucks to see. I don't want to beat a team with guys injured, but, I mean, you got to look at it right now and say, like, good play by Nurse. Kind of a stupid penalty at the time, considering you have the lead and you know what their PP can do. But now I don't know if Hintz is going tonight. They didn't have him last game, and the Nurse wasn't suspended or given a major. So that's playoffs. Edmonton's been relentless. They've been physical. They just hound pucks. They're great on the forecheck. And then they have two guys that can completely take over games. I was mentioning today, like, watching that game, it's 2-1. Dallas is all over them, dominating the second period. And my buddy I was watching with, who's just a big hockey fan, said, this is when you need McDavid to do McDavid things. And boom, he does it. So that's like why this team's so special, is they have depth, but then they have these two guys at any point can take over a shift and a game. So it's wild to watch, and it's so fun to watch. That's the best thing about this for me, is watching this team as closely as I have for 4 or 5 years now. It's like they are so fun to watch play hockey. The games in Edmonton are just, it's like a religious experience being up there for the playoffs. And then their type of hockey, it's really enjoyable, no matter if you're an Oilers fan or not, to watch their team play.
Ryan Whitney, Joe, and it is very true, because they've got a unique combination. They have elite skill, but you got Zach Hyman. He's got 109 hits. Like, the guy had 70 hits in the regular season in 60 games, for God's sakes. And he's going to break the record. Now, I know the record only started tracking hits by the NHL in the salary cap era, but still, no one's come close. And it's not like he's like, I look at some guys who hit a lot, they're third and fourth line guys. That's their job. This guy's a first line guy, or a second line when him and Nugent Hopkins play together. And, he's still got double digits in points. The only other guy that kind of compares to him in that hit category is Dustin Brown. And Dustin Brown's a pretty good player and very important when they won the Cup in 12 and 14. So I look at the Oilers, and you got Kane one game, and then you got Brown, and, you mentioned Kapanen and Podkolzin. They get contributions everywhere. But I do want to get your thoughts on Stu Skinner. A lot of people had written him off, he's terrible. And for the second year in a row, he's like the Undertaker. The coffin opens up, and Skinner comes out of it, and he's like, guess what? Now I'm back, and I'm not going to get scored on very often.
It's such a cool story of perseverance, and I will admit I'm a guy who's been on him and been like, can they win the Stanley Cup with him? But they lost Game 7 by 1 goal, so they can. But it's more about the times that he looks bad. It's like a golfer who, when they're good, and when they're bad, they're really, really bad. There's not much in between. But his perseverance is amazing. And for the U.S. viewers, I know you guys are up in Canada getting Sportsnet and a better broadcast. No offense to ESPN, but Emily Kaplan did an incredible interview with him after Game 2 in Dallas, and he just talked about, like, what it takes to get this done for himself and as a team, and how it takes a community and it takes a family, and how their team is a family. They're behind him. And I mean, that's hard. Like, you're getting pulled 2 years in a row. Pickard comes in. He's a hero against Vancouver last year. He's a hero this year. He wins 6 games in a row. Like, are we serious? Like, that's crazy. But then Skinner, like, he's stuck with it, and he's sitting there on the bench, and he's getting ripped apart in the media and by fans. And you know what? Like, the guts and the perseverance it takes to go back in, believe in yourself, and have a family. And I'm talking about the team and his own family, and what that can do to a guy's psyche. Like, that's just impressive to me, because this is a guy who's well-spoken. He's obviously cares about his game. He cares about his team, but there's just times he just doesn't have it. But to be able to then go find it is wild. And you mentioned Hyman. It's like, Hyman's not scoring. All right, I'm going to run every single defenseman through the boards. And it's just about doing things different when you are struggling. And obviously Skinner has this ability to kind of wake up once things go really south and he loses his job. It's wild. Like, would he even be in right now had Pickard not been hurt? So just a crazy circumstance, and it's one of the reasons this team is Oilers hockey. I put out sometimes the meme of a roller coaster. It's like the last 4 years, the games and the situations and the things that have happened to this team, you couldn't write in a script for Hollywood. Nobody'd believe it, and somehow they come into games and these crazy things happen. And one of them is that their starting goalie gets pulled in the playoffs and always comes back even stronger. It's truly incredible.
Ryan Whitney joins us. Now, Witz, are you a superstitious fan? Do you do you have to have you sit in the same spot when you're watching it, or are you pretty laid back?
I'm pretty laid back, although I did switch it up after the games in LA. I was like, all right, something's got to change. And tonight I will be on the same spot as my coach, but it's more because it's the comfortable spot, not necessarily my superstition.
Okay, well, that's fair. And hey, before I let you go, Len and Patty wanted me to pass along a congrats with all your success. Lenny just had his birthday, and he's just said you still owe him a new couch cushion. So just wanted me to pass that along. So
I love it. I appreciate it, Greg. Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, it's Ryan Whitney from Spinning Chicklets. He and a few of his teammates actually rented a house when he played for the Oilers. So some people I knew, and so it's always a running gag. Oh man, some of the stuff they told me about that house. Oh, I was dying laughing. So there we go. The Oilers say they've been really good against Dallas. Now, Dallas is a good team, but the one thing I don't think that like Dallas, I don't see. You don't suddenly get faster. Now, can they play faster? Maybe if you move the puck quicker. But the Edmonton Oilers right now, they've taken away Dallas's biggest weapon. They've virtually neutered them off the rush. Dallas was the second highest scoring team off the rush this year. We outlined the numbers earlier. Edmonton is winning the odd, off the rush and the odd man chance battle. It's really not close. Like goals, 5-1 Edmonton. Scoring chances off the rush are 20 for the Oilers, 9 for Dallas. Odd man rushes, 13 for Edmonton, 5 for Dallas. They've taken away Dallas's bread and butter and Edmonton's speed. Dallas, Edmonton, not only do they take it away, they counter quicker. And so could it change? I guess it's possible. But to me, that's what I watch for tonight. Watch how few times Dallas really gets a good opportunity off the rush. That's their biggest challenge. I don't know if they can change it in that. Because I gave Chris Knobloch and the coach. Now I give the players credit because the coach can come up and he outlines the plan. It's up to the players to implement it, right? They're the ones who have to go out and do it. And they've taken it to heart. They did it against Vegas. They're doing it against Dallas. But when you watch tonight, watch where Edmonton is and how often they have a forward above Dallas's guy. So while Dallas thinks they're going to get a rush, it's thwarted before it even starts. And that's been a massive, massive key for the Oilers thus far. Quick break. When we return, we'll get to the oil report. We're going to hear from Chris Knobloch. Also, we will hear from maybe a little bit of Pete DeBoer. He didn't want to commit to Rupe Hintz playing, but I talked to the guys in Dallas today. They're all pretty confident that Rupe Hintz is going to play. He took the full practice yesterday. And remember, he did take a warm-up, and he was only out for 5 minutes on Sunday afternoon. I don't think I've ever seen that. Guy took 5 minutes. No, not good. Came off. And I think Hintz realized the situation. Like Dallas loses tonight. Their chances, we all know. What did I outline the chance overall? You got about a 10% chance to come back. Still a chance, but it's pretty far-fetched. And depending on how they lose this game, you'd look and say, well, what can they suddenly change to win 3 in a row against a team that's dominating them? So this is a massive game for Dallas, but it's also a massive game for Edmonton because the Oilers, I think the one thing they learned last year was the shorter you can make a series, the more rest you get, the better you feel. And when the Oilers are healthy, they're a much better team. We'll return. Chris Knobloch here on the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca. Use the promo code Gregor50. Get a free $50 play right now at PlayAlberta.ca.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. Thestingers.ca.
Is it Riverside Motorsports? No. It's Riverside Motorsports. Over 55 years in business, and people still get it wrong. Guess it's time to get it right.
Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
You got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need. Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939. We're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Time on Edmonton Sports Leader, Sports 1440. This is Andrew Walker, and join us for the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show before each Edmonton playoff game. Cross Mitsubishi on 34th Ave and 96th Street.
I'm Colin Livingston, president of Cantork. Since 2016, we've been at the forefront of hydraulic torque wrenches in Canada. I'm delighted to share our latest venture, in-house production for quicker turnaround, superior quality, and heightened versatility. Experience excellence at cantork.com.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Mr. Rooter hits the gym.
As a new Mr. Rooter plumber, you get access to our company gym.
Nice. Where's the equipment?
Over here, we have a variety of tight pickle jars. Open those up to work out your pipe wrenching muscles. We've got your standard weighted plungers, and over here, a pipe wrench.
Why is that guy forcing his body into a suitcase?
He's getting limber. A good plumber must be able to fit under any sink.
For a plumber who always works out, call Mr. Rooter.
Hey, sports fans, we've got a clear choice for you. At Crystal Glass, we provide customers with the perfect glass for any job. From home to auto and even commercial, installation or repairs, we're your team. Call 310 Glass or visit crystalglass.ca. Crystal Glass.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Cantork. We offer sale, rental, repair, and calibration of hydraulic, pneumatic, and battery-powered torque wrenches, stud tensioners, and flange maintenance equipment. Order today at cantork.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.247. Welcome back, Jason Gregor. Connor Halley, Sports 1440, sports1440.ca, coming to you live at On the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street, your place to watch the game. Tonight, also, during the game, of course, you got 5.25 Canadian Coors Lights, other beer, also in honor of Wits, $5 Pink Whitneys tonight. You also, it's a Tuesday, so it's Donaire's tacos today. Ooh, so good. Now, another game, I know most of you won't be watching, but maybe an intermission, you want to check it out. Starts a little bit earlier, but the WHL and the OHL, you've got Medicine Hat and London. Oiler fans, if you want a little bit of a pregame, you're nervous, you're like, okay, I got to do something to relieve the stress. Well, you can watch that game before the Oilers game starts. And Sam O'Reilly in London, they're playing great. Medicine Hat Tigers and Gavin McKenna, they're playing awesome. So the winner of this game will automatically get the number 1 seed, and the loser will be the number 2 seed with home ice in the semifinals. So it should be a heck of a game. Now, let's go in the room, brought to you by Action Electrical, one of Alberta's most diversified electrical contractors. 4 divisions. They also have the new trucks that come out. They can take anything. You need help on the big ladder, doesn't matter. Hey, they got you want to go up 4 stories, they'll do it, no problem. actionelectrical.net. And talked to Chris Knobloch today just about his team's commitment to limiting the Dallas Stars' chances off the rush.
Just being able to get pucks in deep, not forcing plays. And you never want to take out a scoring chance. And usually those scoring chances off the rush are when you have a numerical advantage. And, there's been times where we've had a numerical advantage and we've made plays. But if we don't have that numerical advantage, we have to play it safe. And it's important to do that, especially this time of the year. And I think we've done a pretty good job of managing the puck and doing the right things and not feeding their transition. So that's continually message from me, and that's not just the forwards, it's the defensemen needing to get pucks in deep. And it also applies in the offensive zone where defensemen need to get shots through and not getting blocked. Forwards, especially with the puck down low, can't be making those blind passes to slot, giving it away, and that feeds their transition. So we just have to keep on doing those details.
Yeah. So hey, those details matter, and it's worked, but now you got to continue it. Arvidsson is coming, back in the lineup, and Knobloch just talked about, hey, originally it was a tough decision, but as a coach, sometimes you got to make tough decisions. And what's he expecting from Arvidsson tonight, coming back in the lineup after missing 5 games?
I expect him to pick up right where he left off, and that line and lines won't be exactly the same, but when he left, Podkolzin, himself, and Janmark really played really well. And I think there are 4 really important goals in about a 6-game span. And, I just think with his game, he adds speed. And, I think this time of the year, it's physicality, and, he's not afraid of getting involved in the play. He is smaller, but he definitely is feisty. But I think with his attributes, obviously, I think he's a smart hockey player. He's got good puck skills, but something that really adds to our team is speed. And I think last game we could have used a little more of that, and getting in on the forecheck a little bit faster, maybe a little more off the rush, pushing their defenseman back. He'll help us with that.
Also, how does a coach convince players to go outside of their comfort zone to win games in the playoffs? Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Well, obviously we have to adjust our game, team game, individuals, to whatever we need. We might be playing a physical team, we might be playing a fast team, wide open, whatever it is. We have to adapt and change how we're playing to have success. And by no means did I encourage Zach to set a record on hits, especially my 70 goal scorer from the previous year, to do something like that. But the guys are very motivated, very dedicated to do whatever's necessary to win hockey games. And Zach feels that he can help us out with, maybe he's not scoring every night, that he can have that physical presence. And Zach's an excellent forechecker. He's fast. He can read the play. He can get there. He's also strong. So, his physical contributions with his hits have been helpful for our team. I can go through the lineup, and there's other guys who have altered their game a little bit just to help our team. So, Zach is a great example of that.
Oh, without question. And what's kind of funny is I know Knobloch kind of joked after the second round. It's like, gee, as much as I think it gets overlooked as Hyman's hitting everybody, and you do wear down the opposition, but it's, ask anybody out there who's hit guys. It can wear on you sometimes, for sure, especially if a guy might surprise you with a reverse hit here or there. It can be as punishing on the hitter as it is on the hittee. And lastly, Knobloch asked him about their record in games 4-7. They're 16-2, including a perfect 6-0 in game 4. That temperament, the strategy, and does he feel his team just gets better as the series goes along?
I think our guys are battle tested, experienced. They're older. They've seen a lot of playoff games. They don't get rattled. And as the series progresses, obviously there gets more tension. There gets more stress. The games mean more because we're getting closer to that deciding game. And I think our guys just handle whatever's thrown at them very well. And I think a lot of it is because of their experience. They're older, and they've been through a lot together.
Yeah, definitely. They've been, the orders, Darnell Nurse said, you get more comfortable. Zach Hyman said it too, that you've been in enough situations. Like he said, we'll never play a bigger game, than Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Unless I guess you get to another Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. Because Game 7 in round 1, 2, or 3, well, it's big, won't be as big as that one, right? It isn't. It's impossible to match that unless you're in Game 7 of the Cup again. So this team, he feels like, having gone through it, you can be calmer and more comfortable knowing, okay, this is a big moment. We've been in a big moment. Sure, they lost, but they didn't fall flat on their face. They didn't get dominated in that game. They were right there as a 1-goal game. So, there's lots of experience for this team, and you just look at the orders. It's funny because if you look historically at teams who lose the Cup final, they don't get back there right away, right? It's very rare. In fact, now some teams, we talked about it on the show here in the last 45 years. Only 3 times have the same teams played each other in consecutive playoffs. Well, actually twice. This could be the third year Florida and Edmonton finish it off. Pittsburgh and Detroit in 8-9, and the Oilers and the Islanders in 83-84. But you look at lots of other teams, you lose that final, and some teams don't get back right away. Some teams, by the time their organization gets back, a lot of their group has changed, right? Because look at, go back to now the Oilers, of course, in 83, they lost, but the Flyers lost, the North Stars lost. Now the Flyers lost in 80, and then they lost again in 85, then they lost again in 87. The Oilers beat the Bruins twice in a 3-year span. Calgary Flames were pretty good. They lost in 86, got back in 87. But if you really look since the in the salary cap era, right? The Oilers lost in 06. They didn't get back to the Cup till 24. Ottawa lost in 07. They've never been back. Now, Pittsburgh did go back-to-back. Detroit lost in 09, and they haven't been back since. Philadelphia Flyers, not back since. Vancouver Canucks. The New Jersey Devils lost in 12. Now, the Bruins lost in 13. They did win it in 11, but they lost in 13. Then they got back again, lost in 19. But they're kind of the exception, right? Tampa Bay lost in 15. Then they won 5 years later. So it's hard. Like, you get there, you're a really good team. But to get back again is hard. Florida did it. They lost and they won. And now they might get back for a third time. But it's tough. It seems it's almost easier for the teams who win to get back. Pittsburgh won, got back again the next year. Tampa won, got back the next year. Then they won again, then they got back the next year. Look at Florida. They're 1 win away from getting back. So that seems a little bit more prevalent for some of these teams. Detroit won, they got back the next year. And they haven't been back since. So it's you can never take it for granted. I think when you're in the moment, you're like, oh, we'll get back here. But there's obviously never a guarantee on that for sure. So 833-401-1440, 833-401-1440. Quick break. We'll come back after the Connor Halley Sports Update. TR will join us. We got Dave McCarthy, Specs, Strud. I got a loaded show with you. Walks will join us a little bit later on in the pregame show. We'll hear from Pete DeBoer. Also, we'll talk a little Memorial Cup, man. I'm excited about that game tonight. I'll be watching it. I'm actually recording it, so I'm going to watch it later. But it should be a heck of a game tonight between the Medicine Hat Tigers and London. Also, congratulations, Minnesota. Hey, 2 years in, 2 championships in the PWHL. I'm trying to think, like Minnesota, the Twins, they won in 91. That's the last time like Minnesota won a championship in anything, Cons. Obviously, the Vikings haven't won. The Wild haven't won. The Twins haven't won. The Timberwolves haven't won. I think that might be it. So good for them. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by the Alberta GMC dealers. And Truck Month continues on, but you only got a few days left. Get a great deal. You get $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models. See more at gmccanada.ca.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers Stars meeting down at Rogers Place. Puck drop just after 6 o'clock. It is game 4 of the Western Final with Edmonton leading 2-1. Victor Arvidsson drawing in for the injured Connor Brown. Calvin Pickard will stress with the backup role for Stuart Skinner. We got pregame coverage coming your way starting at 5 o'clock with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson. In the association, it's game 4 of the Eastern Final with the Pacers hosting the Knicks just after 6 o'clock. Indiana leading that series 2-1. In the majors, Jays in action once again, taking on the Rangers. First pitch set for 6:05. You also the Rockies and Cubs, Reds in Kansas City, Padres host the Marlins, Yankees in Anaheim, and the Mariners hosting the Nationals. And it's Memorial Cup. He battled the undefeated as Medicine Hat taking on London. That one starting just after 5 o'clock. And at the French Open, Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime out after the first round after giving up a 2-set lead to Italy's Matteo Arnaldi. Coming up in hour 2 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by our co-host and former NHLer Terry Ryan, also Dave McCarthy from Sirius XM. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
It's Sports 1440, a Stingray radio station broadcasting on Treaty 6 territory.
Download the free iHeartRadio app and listen to CKJR wherever you go.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
The month of May brings machines, mud, and for us, many an opportunity. We're GS Construction, and we love the warmer weather because it means we can get to work. But to keep things moving, we need the right people on our team. You built your skills, you know your work matters. Now's the time to bring that experience to a crew that gets it. We're hiring experienced top men and pipe layers. So if you're ready to dig in and be part of a team that has your back, apply now at gsconstruction.ca for this great opportunity.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
This is a slam dunk. Dive into Edmonton's vibrant basketball scene with exclusive interviews and expert analysis. I'm Paul Sir, and I host The Basketball Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sports 1440.
Wow, get ready for a silly hockey fans. Your partner in power just skated onto the ice.
EWEL.ca, the new e-commerce website for electrical wholesalers Edmonton, is ready for the power play 24/7, 365.
UL skates to where the puck will be in 5 years. Now that's forward thinking.
Killer selection, slamming products from the best brands, and legendary service.
Don't sit on the bench. Get your account today at EWEL.ca and win that project.
Plug into your partner in power. Get an EWEL.ca account today.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing: taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
I won't shave till we bring home the cup. And I like to do a shot for every playoff goal.
My jersey's not coming off until we're the city of champs again.
Want a playoff superstition that always wins? Pick up a bag of Wilhauk beef jerky for every game. Because when it comes to the playoffs, where there's a Wilhauk, there's a way.
Make every playoff game a Wilhockey game day with Wilhauk beef jerky. Only available in Leduc. Get yours today, because you don't bring home the cup with salad.
Japa Machinery Group knows that XCMG may not roll off the tongue, but Japa's team will help keep your construction jobs rolling on time and on budget with heavy equipment sales and rentals. Visit japamachinery.com to find out more.
Jumpstart your summer with Wendy's delicious drinks. Enjoy a small iced coffee, Frosty Chino, or Frosty Fizz for only $1.99. But hurry, get your $1.99 small drink at participating Wendy's, only available until June 29th. Extra.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for
Afternoon for you and welcome.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Tall legacy, tall legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's gonna love this phrase.
The orders
not
say
love
they
with no interest and no prince of payments for 1 year.
Right now.
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike legacy, I never know when to cool.
Welcome back, Jason Gregor.
Heating and Cooling.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Leading Edge Physio. The team in Old Strathcona have special training dedicated to reducing the impact of cancer care before, during, and after your diagnosis. From lymphedema to the management of fatigue and side effects of chemotherapy and radiation, they can help. Learn more at leadingedgephysio.com.
Hat tricks, touchdowns, and home runs. Get it all with the Jason Gregor Show on Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 3 o'clock on a game day on Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Hope you're having a lovely Tuesday afternoon. Oilers, Stars, pivotal game for tonight. Arvidsson's in for the injured Connor Brown. Calvin Pickard is getting healthier. He will be the backup tonight for the Edmonton Oilers. Dallas Stars, not official, but look for Rupe Hintz to draw back into the lineup tonight for Dallas. They're going to need him. They're going to need a lot of guys because they got to get going. We are live and on the rocks. You can watch all of the action tonight at OTR. Of course, it's Taco Tuesday. Donair Taco is the flavor of the day. You also have drink specials throughout the game. We had Ryan Whitney on. Guess what? They got Pink Whitney's $5 during the game here at OTR, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. The Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca, where you can get in the game. Alberta's only regulated online gambling website, where 100% of the revenue stays right here in the province. PlayAlberta.ca. As we welcome in our Tuesday co-host, stars on Shoresy, as a Hitch, also two-time author, former NHLer, even in the Newfoundland Sports Hall of Fame. Terry Ryan joins us. TR, how you doing? Buddy, I think you might be muted. I can see you, but I can't hear you. So, see if...
now we good?
Yeah, now we're good, buddy.
You can hear me fine. I put my mic in. I couldn't hear you. So rather than screw with it, if you can hear me fine, we'll go with this.
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. So
to answer your question, I'm doing okay. I'm doing great. We just got back from Calgary, raised a lot of money, over $1 million for the Gordie Howe Pro-Am Cancer Classic. So it's ran into some friends. We had lots of support out in Alberta, as we always do.
Score any goals?
Oh, yeah, I had a few. I had 2 right skates I brought out there. So hats off to my buddy Curtis Foley, who lives in Calgary. Hooked me up. Now, again, I couldn't wear his. They hurt too much. So I wore one of his and one of mine, and I got by using that right skate.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I used it as
oh, man. Every hockey parent's out there laughing at their U9 player who forgets his stuff. And there's TR bringing 2 left skates to the game. Oh,
right before too.
I hope the team who drafted you was chirping you all weekend.
They were. I think I made it up to them off the ice. We had a pretty good time. I don't know. I can't tell all the stories. That's why if we do one in a town near you soon, if you're listening, draft me or us or whatever. It was a bunch of hooligans at this thing, but we had an awesome time.
Well, I'm sure while you're there, all the guys, former players get together, always say, hey, what do you think of the teams? What's going on? What's the feeling about the Edmonton Oilers with all the alumni guys you're talking about? Because the Oilers, it's been pretty impressive how they dismantled Vegas, right? They got the last 4 straight against LA. Now they're up 2-1 against Dallas, and they've been full marks for their series lead against the Stars thus far.
Well, yeah. So I only came. I stayed. I went out for an extended stay. I just came back yesterday. So, in other words, we all watched the Oil game together. But honestly, here's a bunch of guys. I mean, these are all established. I know you've had them out there, but all established NHLers and some Hall of Fame guys. Like, really, this was exceptional. There's guys like Mike Keenan were there, Mark Recchi, Pierre Turgeon. I hung out with Derek Roy, Matt Barnaby, Brian McGrattan all weekend. And we were all together. But anyway, so there was never less than 6 or 7 of us. Aaron Ward, I got to know him pretty well. Like, great guys. And we watched, and honestly, the consensus was that, can you believe the Oilers are doing this when, they're big guys who lead. They're still leading the ship, but they've got a lot of people chipping in. Like, we were talking about it. We were thinking McDavid late in the game, he nearly had a hat trick. And we're like, I don't even know if he's one of the top 5 in the game. And this is Connor McDavid. He got laid. His goals were nice. Not saying he didn't play well. I'm saying that there was other people standing out, and literally Skinner with people, for anybody who doubted. looked incredible. Hyman is like coming from another planet. He's hitting everything, which is fantastic. We're talking about the Oilers and how much they hit and how physically dominant they've been. And I mean, it was exactly the opposite at times during the year. So it's wild to see.
Yeah, well, they'll never admit it, but I think I don't know if you were saving it per se, Terry.
Yeah.
But they've made a commitment like Zach Hyman, hey, part of my job this year is to be as physical as I can. Because I know people are like, well, he's not scoring. Yeah, but he was on the first line last year, right? Mm-hmm. So it's just each year is different. I think Zach Hyman's hit totals just show me how much different every playoff year. You can't do exactly what you did the year before, even if you win. You've got to do something different. And, Edmonton changed some of their players, obviously, but some of the guys they have, like Zach Hyman's he's doing more in a different way this year. Not scoring as much, but they don't need him to score as much because everybody else scoring. So he's like, I got to be more physical. And he is like ridiculously more physical.
If you think about it, man, if you went all the way to Game 7 last year, he had 50-odd goals. It's not like he'd not ever physical. I mean, it didn't come out of nowhere. But I can totally see how you would time it for the playoff run again. I mean, go out. You're not saying that you're not trying to get your team in. But I don't think there was ever a point in the year that we really thought the Oilers weren't going to make the playoffs. And I'm thinking if I'm one of those guys, it's hard to consciously make the decision. And I don't think would ever admit or ever do that. But there is a way to like really ramp it up in the playoffs. And there's times during the year that, I'm going to take my foot off the gas without really being a bad teammate. But I mean, if you can, and again, you're not only saving yourself, but you're surprising every other opponent that you come across because they didn't write this up. This isn't what we saw in December. We played you guys January 21st. Didn't see this. Of course, now, not only am I more ready to bang, more ready to bear down, more ready, more intense, but you might be thrown off because you didn't see this earlier. And I just see a lot of that happening. A lot of their games. Yes, the obvious is, the 2 games against Dallas here and even the third, I thought they dominated that game for the most part. But I think the whole playoffs, like when they get rolling, people don't know how to deal with them. And they just come and they come and they come and they come. And now it's not just goals and fast speed down the wing. It's just coming and coming and hitting you and hitting you and hitting you and in front of you. Honestly, it gets overwhelming at times for players. And if you get behind, it's really hard to come back on a team like that. I know it's happened, Dallas in that one, but I really think that it's hard to come back on a team like the Oilers when they're clicking.
Well, especially if the Oilers can stay out of the box, because really that's what got Dallas into that game.
That's it.
Took 3 consecutive penalties, and their penalty kill couldn't get a kill, and then bingo, bango, bongo, it was 4-3. And everybody knows what happens. The Oilers haven't allowed a power play goal in games 2 and 3. They've only taken 4 penalties, so they've been more disciplined, which is the best way to help your penalty kill is to give it fewer chances to have to kill. And now Connor Brown comes out tonight, TR, and he's one of their main guys up front, right? Him and Janmark, because usually Henrique and Nugent Hopkins come out for the face-off. But if they win the draw and it's iced in 5 seconds, they're off. And it's Janmark and Brown. And so they actually are on the ice more. So, it's a small thing because it might only be for a total of 2 minutes in the game. But who's ever replacing Brown in that situation, I think you got to be key because the only time Dallas got back in the series was through their power play.
Totally agree. That was going to be one of the points. I think that it's a huge loss. Yeah, 2 minutes, but 2 minutes in the playoffs in a series like this, and 2 important minutes. We're not talking about 2 mail-in minutes just in case. We're talking about these are important, obvious minutes that are going to be missed by one of the best, most successful players doing it for the last considerable amount of time. So for me, yeah, that's nothing to shake a stick at. So much to the point that whoever's doing it, I would be taking advice from Connor. I mean, he's Brown. I can't say enough about the ways and the Oilers are riding momentum and a rhythm and everything else. And I just think he's as much part of that. And he does chip in the odd point, but I just think he's as much part of that as anything. And that's not to be taken lightly. It's a big loss.
Yeah, I think it is a big loss, and it's one where they hopefully now every little detail. The Oilers have got guys who've come in and played well. It was interesting. Victor Arvidsson had Victor Arvidsson today. I could tell he was pissed that he's been sitting out 5 games. And I get it, right? Like, I totally understand that you're going to be frustrated, but some guys will hide that frustration, TR. Like, in the back room, you might be annoyed, but when you come out to the media, and so I don't know if I'm like, I respect it because he's 100% honest, or I'm like, oof, he better come out now and back it up, because he's like, hey, they made their decision when I thought I was playing well. I feel I deserve to be in, and you should feel that way as a player. The minute a player's like, well, I don't think I should play, well, that's not a good sign, right? You probably should move on to another team. But kind of what's your expectation for Arvidsson? Because I thought he had played well, and him, Janmark, and Podkolzin had been aligned before Kapanen came in, and they played quite well. So I'm going to ask you this, and it kind of ties into Arvidsson. McDavid and McDavid and Draisaitl played together for the last 27 minutes of game 3. They scored that goal late in the second, and then of course the Oilers, the Hyman Nugent Hopkins combination with Kane, they scored some huge goals in the third period. So I would start Kane, Hyman, and Nugent Hopkins together. So I'm starting Draisaitl and McDavid together, and probably Corey Perry. Would you do it, or would you just go back to what the lines were, where McDavid's on his own line, Drados on his own line, Henrique's on the third line, and Arvidsson just comes in for Brown with Kane and Henrique?
For the momentum, I think I'd go with option 1. But here's the thing, and Dallas might anticipate that. I think that the Oilers coaches are fantastic at making adjustments. So I think whichever way you go with it, Dallas might get out of, if they try to get out ahead of the game, I think you'll just now at this point you can just routinely change, right? A lot of teams are desperate for that. They really are, to have the ability to just go back and forth no matter what you're going to. And now we're all pretty confident. And as far as Arvidsson, I just as soon not see the obviousness of someone being so upset, but I'll never get. I'd way rather that. I'd rather err on the side of like people often say, the horse that it's hard to get him back into the barn, right? You know, we know it's all over the place, and we've seen sometimes things like that. You might get a Nazem Kadri taking a suspension, or you might get, someone that's outspoken before the game starts, and maybe that flavor isn't what you want to hear, but that player is very aware and wouldn't say it if they weren't desperate and dying to get back into that lineup. So for me, I'm cool with it. It's like, sometimes Leon Draisaitl, sometimes his body language could be better. The optics when he slams his stick or whatever, but people know, and he's never yelling at other people, and he's frustrated with himself or something that happened. And I'd just as soon not see it, but this is one of the most competitive players ever, with the top 5 points per game ever in the playoffs. There's a reason for that. And if you take that out of Leon, or you take it out of Victor, or you take it out of Nazem, you're taking a part of their fundamental game that is a reason that they're successful. And just to elaborate on that another little bit, yeah, if you're not feeling like that, I remember sitting out so many games in Montreal, and people might think this is really, really an incredible thing that I short-sighted maybe, but for me, I remember asking to go back down, because I'm like, I'm going to get into the NHL here, and I'm going to be given a chance. And I've gone 17 games without getting out there. 2 games I dressed, I didn't get 1 shift. I'm like, now confidence, everything, and I was totally cool with it. The money, I didn't even think about it. I was like, I'll get that back, because in the end, and of course, circumstances changed, but I'm just telling you that I've done that, and I think I took pride in being competitive. But at some point, this team, it needs the best possible chance to win, and if I'm not that, I don't want to make myself or them look bad.
Yeah, no, I would agree. You want the guy to be competitive, and it's a fun. I'd rather people be honest. And so Arvidsson's like, hey man, I thought I should be playing. They made a decision. Okay, we move on. I'm excited to be back in. And you know what? Now if you're Arvidsson, you got to play so well that they can't take you out, right? It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Right? That's just how it goes. So there's really no other option there.
And I'd rather that. I'd rather guys know that going in. So he's very aware of the assignment. I don't think you're going to see a guy who's sitting back. And not only that, we're talking about someone who's got a lot of NHL experience. It's also not some guy who's played 4 games. Talking about it, we know from fans, we know from experience, we know from his resume that if he's going to say something like that, then he's ultra ready to play.
Yeah, no, that's totally true. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan with you, Sports 1440. Dave McCarthy will join us next. We are live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. It's the Gregor Show presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
We've got some good news for you. Employee pricing is back at St. Albert Dodge. You pay what we pay, and if you're in the market for a new vehicle, it just doesn't get any better than that. You'll get a great deal, and it's so easy. No complications, no negotiations. The pricing is simple. Your biggest challenge will be choosing the vehicle you want. Employee pricing. Come see us now for the best selection and the best pre-tariff prices of the year. And see how easy it is to do business at St. Albert Dodge.
Dang. Last season, you bought new clubs to fix your game. You spent the entire season trying to learn how to hit with your magic clubs. And guess what? Dang. They didn't help your game. Now you're convinced it's your swing, but it really is your clubs. Even though you were told the ones you bought were the best ever made, if they were, you would have gotten better. Every day at Fitted Golf, we continue to prove the right clubs make all the difference in the world. From beginners to pros, Fitted Golf makes all the difference.
Yes.
FittedGolf.ca.
Hey, Alberta. The all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Noodle, 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 noodle. Noodle, 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 noodle.
Throw a load down to Oodle Noodle tonight because dine-in is open.
At Leading Edge Physiotherapy, we believe that life shouldn't hurt. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't know that sometimes it really hurts. I mean, we've seen people at their worst moments in life when they feel they have nowhere to turn or at a time when they felt like their problem just wouldn't ever go away. We've also seen people who thought to themselves, it'll just go away on its own, or this is no big deal. I don't want to bother anyone about this. Don't know where to turn to or think it's no big deal. Either way, we have the technology, techniques, and skills to help you get back to it, whatever your it may be. Life shouldn't hurt. LeadingEdgePhysio.com.
Scott McGilvery here, HGTV host and renovation expert. The one upgrade I know homeowners will love: better, fresher Culligan water straight from the tap. Culligan's Aquasential reverse osmosis filtration system takes your water to the next level. With up to 7 stages of filtration and 14 filter options, they're certified to reduce over 90 contaminants. Your tap water is about to get a major upgrade: safer water that tastes great. Get started with a free in-home water test at Culligan.com. Culligan, water you love.
I'm Rick Showers from No Bull RV, and I love being Canadian. Despite what's happening south of the border, we've never been more united in our country, and that's a good thing. Know what else I love? The great outdoors in Canada.
We can wake up on the prairie and fall asleep under a Rocky Mountain sky.
That's right, Bob. Visitors will travel halfway around the world just to experience what we have in our own backyard. We're so lucky to live here, and that's why the good Lord created the RV, so you can spend more time in the great outdoors.
And the best RV is a used RV, right, Rick?
Every RV is a used RV, Bob. Unless it's still on the dealer's lot, it's used. All of the RVs at No Bull are used as well, which means they're already in Canada. Nobody can slap a tariff on a used RV. If it's here and it's used, that means it's Canadian. No surprises, no worries, just the best outdoor experience Canada has to offer.
And that's No Bull.
NoBullRV.ca.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. Today is Ben Stelter's birthday, and all proceeds from sales at Popeyes are going to the Ben Stelter Foundation in honor of Ben. Head to Popeyes to support an amazing local foundation until June 3rd.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Well, the Oilers are hoping to go on a magic ride tonight for their 7th consecutive win in Game 4s. Or I don't know, it might be 8 actually, because they've won 6 in a row under Knobloch. They did win Game 4 against Vegas. I think they actually won Game 4 against LA in 2022. So it's 8 in a row. Yeah, I guess the last Game 4 loss would have been when they got swept by Colorado in 2022. So if you're a believer in streaks, they'll look to go streaking to number 9 and, more importantly, get a 3-1 series lead on the Dallas Stars. As we're now going to get to our playoff report, brought to you by your Alberta GMC dealers. Truck month continues now till the end of the month. Get $5,000 cash purchase credit on 2025 Sierra HD models at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com as our regular Tuesday guest from SiriusXM, host of The Brunch and Ice Caps and more. Dave McCarthy joins us. Davey, how you doing, my man?
Hey, boys. What's going on?
Oh, you know what? It's game day. It's nice outside here. Solid 23, 24 degrees Celsius. I have no idea. Sorry for our American listeners what that is in Fahrenheit. So you need to change. We don't. But any less, Dave. Quickly, let's start. We've talked lots of orders. We'll get to them in a sec. But the Carolina Hurricanes stay of execution, I think, is the best way to put it. And now they get home. Like, I could see them winning a home game, and suddenly, Florida just maybe making this series suddenly a lot harder than it should have been.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they played good last night for the first time this series. And I thought Florida was in the game too, but Carolina was the better team last night. Not by much, but enough. They got their chance, and Logan Stankoven didn't make a mistake. It was a great shot. You got to tip your hat to the shooter sometimes, and I think you have to do that on that goal by Stankoven. Bobrovsky had the net covered, but he found just over the blocker, like the elbow of the net. It was a great shot. And I thought Carolina did a really good job of being able to get out of their own end more efficiently, which I don't think they did very well at all in the first 3 games of this series. And then once they got the puck out of their own end, spent a little bit more time in Florida's end. They had the I guess, offensive zone time a little bit in their favor. It wasn't heavily tilted in Florida's favor, but enough. So Carolina did a good job. It's funny, I tweeted this out yesterday, but the more I think about it, the more I really do believe that this is true. Winning the Stanley Cup is not about scoring the most goals and having the most skill. It's about being the best team to dig the puck out of your own end and get it out efficiently and quickly and get it down the ice and spend some time in the other team's end. And then the goals for will come and the goals against will not. And then you win. Like, it's really not that much more difficult and complex than that. Toronto couldn't get the puck out of their own end against Florida. What happened? They gone, right? Carolina, through 3 games, couldn't get the puck out of their own end against Florida. What happened? They're down 3-0. They had to win to keep their season alive. So that's what Florida's done really, really well in the playoffs. And that's why they're in the driver's seat in this series. And the other thing I'll say is Florida has had a bit of a habit of, when they have teams to the brink, giving them a stay of execution, if you will. Game 6 against Toronto, they lost that game. Don't have to tell you guys. Last year in the Stanley Cup final, they gave up 3 before winning. They always find a way to finish the job, but sometimes they let it stretch on a little longer than they'd probably like. I'm still betting on Florida heading into Game 5 tomorrow night.
TR?
Dave, I'm betting on Florida as well, but I noticed they sat a couple of big-time players yesterday. Now, these guys are hurt, but how hurt do you think they are? It's 3-0. Was that just a rest? And I totally understand if it is, but you can get burnt by that, and they nearly did last year in the playoffs by the Edmonton Oilers. Are you expecting to see a full lineup through from Florida tomorrow?
Well, look, I think they like their depth, Terry. Being around Florida for a couple of weeks there when they were playing the Leafs the last round, that's the one thing I hear time and again from this team, is that they're very confident with guys that may not be in the lineup every night, that if they need to turn to them, they'll be able to do the job on that night. And again, they didn't get caved in last night at all. They were in the game. And Carolina got their chance, and they made good on it. And Florida did not. That's going to happen sometimes. Now, Nico Mikkola has been really good for this Panthers team. He wasn't in the lineup last night. It becomes a judgment call at that point. Like, how hurt is he where if you put him in the lineup, he's not giving you as much as Juvis Bolinskis or Jason Megna if they turn to that. And I think that's what they're going to have to decide. But they're happy with Bolinskis. They're happy if they have to turn to Jason Megna. So I don't really think that's where the concern lies for Florida. And again, Paul Maurice last night was up there essentially coaching the Hurricanes, right? And like he was like, you people out there have been far more down on this team, Carolina, than I've been over the last 2 or 3 days. And that to me expresses supreme confidence. A coach who's shaking in his boots does not get up there and say, you know what, lay off the other team. They're not so bad. We're caving them in. We're up 3 games. They're not so bad. They're right there. John Cooper did that all the time.
Yeah.
On the light, right? Like he coached the Maple Leafs on so many occasions when they were going to, 3 straight Stanley Cup finals. He was always saying that type of stuff. You know what? They're not that bad. They're right there. So I don't sense any panic, frustration, anything of that nature from Florida. I really think they'll be fine.
Yeah, totally agree. Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM joined us. Dave, you moved to the orders, and they have a chance now to really take a stranglehold in this series. They're up 2-1, full marks to be up 2-1, especially at 5-on-5. They've dominated the Stars in this series.
Yeah.
You look at the 9-3. If you look at odd man rush chances, if you look at scoring chances off the rush, which was Dallas's bread and butter. They're the second best team in the NHL, and Edmonton stifled it. They only have 1 goal off the rush, does Dallas. The Oilers have 5. The Dallas Stars are getting goose eggs from way too many of their forwards 5-on-5. And not just this series, but really in the playoffs, right? Jamie Benn, no goals. Matt Duchene, no goals. Wyatt Johnson hasn't done anything in this series. Do you think Dallas can suddenly flip the switch? Or when you look at their whole playoff production 5-on-5, it's not been good enough. Right? Like Colorado, their power play beat them.
You're right. And that's the issue, right? Is that when you get to this point of the playoffs and your depth starts to abandon you and you're really only getting production from 2 or maybe 3 guys, and you run up against an opponent who's getting production from much more than that, you're in big trouble, right? Like that's just the I guess the ice tilting in favor of your opponent. Edmonton's a better team right now in every facet of the game. They're getting contributions from up and down their lineup. Their penalty kill is delivering. Their power play is delivering. Their goaltending, quite honestly, Stuart Skinner, I thought outplayed Jake Ottinger the other afternoon there on Sunday. He's been better than Ottinger. And so when that's the case, you're in a real tight spot. I don't think Dallas is going to be able to turn it on. And see, like, it's funny. You get to this point in a series, and then you start to change your opinion a little bit. And remember, I did pick Edmonton coming into this series, but I was always high on Dallas's depth. I thought that was a skill and an asset of their team throughout the regular season. But you're allowed to change your opinion when you see how things have progressed. And right now, that has abandoned them big time in Dallas. I think to an extent, their older guys are looking a little old, and their younger guys who they rely on, the Wyatt Johnstons and that, Jason Robertson, if you want to call him a younger guy, although he's been hurt, but he's been back long enough now where, what is it, 8-9 games back in the lineup? Like, you got to start to do something. As far as I'm concerned, you're healthy at this point if you're playing. Their young guys have looked a little young and have abandoned them. And so when that's going to be the case, and you're relying on like Granlund and Rupe Hintz who got hurt, and that's it. That's all you're getting production from. And then your goalie starts getting outplayed by the other goalie. how are you going to overcome that? And I don't see why Edmonton would suddenly be unable to continue at the pace that they've played at, because I think they've got room for regression, if you will. If some of the depth starts to go quiet here for a couple games, well, who's to say McDavid and Draisaitl don't go legend? If they don't go legend, who's to say the depth doesn't continue? I just don't think it's all going to go south at the same time. Who's to say that Stuart Skinner isn't going to keep his game where I don't think it's going to go all south at the same time. So I think Edmonton's in a really good spot here. I thought they should be confident coming into Game 3, and they played like it. And I don't see any reason why that would change heading into Game 4 tonight.
If you were Chris Knobloch, do you start tonight how you ended with Draisaitl, McDavid, and Perry on a line, and that Nugent Hopkins, Hyman, Kane line, which was great when they got put together midway through the second period? Is that what you'd start with? And then, you figure out Arvidsson, maybe he goes back with Janmark and Podkolzin, so that would leave you a Kapanen, Frederick, Henrique line. Or do you just start the game how you started last game, and you just say, Arvidsson, you're going in for Brown with Henrique, and Kane and Draisaitl, McDavid will send to their own lines?
No, I'd start with how they finished the other night, because they dominated. In the second half of that game, they really took over the game. You look at Arvidsson, he hasn't played in a little while. So I would rely on the guys, how they had them aligned, who did such great job second half of that game. And then if you give Arvidsson a few shifts and you see that he's going, well, then you can turn to him a little bit more often. But look, I think Corey Perry's played great all playoffs long. No matter what role they've put him in, he's more than filled in. Like, he has excelled. So they turn to him a little bit more often second half of that game. I'd continue to go to that in the first period and see how it plays out. Like, I think Edmonton's going to come out of the gates like a house on fire tonight. I really, really do. And because I think they can smell blood. And I think they've developed a real killer instinct in their play and in their approach. And we've seen that on multiple occasions throughout the playoffs. Game 4 against Vegas, when the Knights won Game 3 in that heartbreaking fashion, and Edmonton came out and they were like, not tonight, fellas. This is our game. And they jumped into the driver's seat, never looked back. The other night, Game 3 against Dallas. Like, yeah, Stuart Skinner was really good in that game, and Dallas had some chances, but your goalie's allowed to be good. And then the Oilers really put that game away long before it was over. And I thought it was a great response. So, I expect that to continue, because I think they understand the opportunity that they have before them. And they do not look like a team to me that is letting these chances slip and just wading into games and seeing how it plays out. They're going into games, putting their stamp on it early and saying, if you want to beat us, you're going to have to play our way, and you're probably not going to like it. And I think that's a hallmark of a really, really good team.
TR?
I wanted to know, Dave, the Leafs are they've mentioned they're not having Brendan Shanahan back, obviously. Now, I think he's the president of hockey operations. Now, a lot of people say, he's responsible for the core four and their lack of success in the playoffs. A lot of other people say he did some unreal things for the organization, which he did. I mean, he really did.
Yeah.
As far as alumni and getting that nostalgic Leafs feeling back in a positive direction, in a positive way. I could go on. There is a lot of things he did. So do you think they're going to hurt by not having that job? Like, all of a sudden it's just like, yeah, we'll just cut it. Well, he did a great job and he was really responsible. And, we have made the playoffs every year, and it's a disappointment, Game 7, but it's not all on him. But we're just going to gas his job. It seems like a contradiction. If he was so important, now you're gassing his job and you're just going to work closer with the GM? Or do you think it means anything?
Look, I mean, I think Brad Treliving has an appreciation for the majesty and the grandeur and the history of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And so I don't see any reason why some of those implementations that Brendan Shanahan has put into place, the repatriation of the alumni, embracing the history of the team. I don't see any reason why that's going to change. I don't think it will. Because I think Treliving will have a larger voice now. At the end of the day, I'm not surprised that Shanahan's job was removed simply because his contract had elapsed, right, Terry? And so the optics were that if Shanahan was going to come back, he's looking for term. He's looking for 5 years at minimum, right? As he had the last 2 times that he signed, 5 years and then 6. He's not coming back for 2 years. Why the hell would he, right? So optically, with how the season ended, so meekly at home in games 5 and 7, with jerseys being thrown and beers being thrown and the building emptying out long before the final buzzer. And then yesterday they come out and say, hey, Brendan Shanahan's been re-signed to a new 6-year deal. Like, how's that going to play?
Sorry.
No, I get you. And I'm getting there. I totally get you. So my point being is that
Okay.
I'm not surprised that he got let go. But my other point being is that you're right. He did do a lot of good, because where this team was when he came on board in 2014 was a laughingstock. It was a joke, horrendous. And making a playoffs 9 years in a row is not nothing. They show up every year. They come into camp and they feel like they have a chance. And by virtue of getting in, they do. Have they underperformed? Yes. But there are a lot of other teams around the league that would die to be in the position that the Leafs have been over the last 9 years. So in saying all that, not surprised that he got moved on, but he also did a lot of good stuff. I don't think that Keith Pelly, the CEO of MLSE, is going to have his hands on hockey-related decisions. Ultimately, he's going to be consulted on something significant. But I think Brad Treliving's voice will grow, and I think Craig Berube's voice will grow behind the bench. Pelly came from Europe, spent a lot of time in European soccer, where the coach has a significant voice in the direction of the team, not just the manager. And he referenced that a lot the other day when he spoke. So I think they look at it and say they're confident in Brad Treliving. They're confident in Craig Berube. What Shanahan has implemented in terms of all the off-ice stuff, the business ventures, well, we see no reason to change that. We're not going to change that. We're just going to keep it chugging, so to speak. We don't need to bring in someone who is going to try to impart their vision on what's already been established. I think that's the longer answer, but I think they're happy with the vision of the Leafs. Now it's just how do they tinker around the edges to get what's been a really well-established program to the next level, where they're pushing through and contending not just for playoff spots, but for Stanley Cups.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how they go about it. And, Mitch Marner, John Tavares, are they going to make a big push for Sam Bennett? They're moving Morgan Riley. It's Brad Treliving. It's going to be one of the more, I think, interesting off seasons amongst organizations. I look at Toronto. I never count out Vegas, Dave. I think Vegas is going to be looking. I think Ken Holland and the LA Kings there's some teams I think they're going to be movers and shakers. Now, that doesn't mean it always works out. Ask Oilers fans. Look at July 1st for the Oilers. It didn't work out great. Now they've got depth from it, sure. But, some of their July 1st signings, the new GM came in and had to make some other additions to fill out the team with a little different strategy, and it worked. So I always caution people, I don't believe that Stanley Cups are won in free agency. I would argue they're probably more lost than they are won in free agency.
No, you're right about that. I mean, look, could the Leafs, just to continue on that example, use a guy like Sam Bennett? 100% they could. Can you use Sam Bennett at 10 sheets a year, though, if that's what he gets?
I saw that number. I'm like, why the hell would you pay him? Like, I love Sam Bennett. He's having unreal playoffs, but come on.
But all it takes is one. And this free agent class is not very strong. And so, if there's a team out there that thinks, man, we're a Sam Bennett away and we can squeeze him in, but at 10, can you squeeze him in? Like, that's the question. I'm of the same mind about Mitch Marner. I think he's a very good player. I really do. Yeah. I do not think you can win, though, if Mitch Marner is the guy on your team either. And that is the problem. And if he's going to go out and command $13 million a year, 7-year deal, he has to come in and be the guy, right? There's no other option when you're making that kind of money. But in doing so, to sign him into that type of deal, I do not think you can win anymore, because you handcuff your team in terms of being able to build it out elsewhere. And what that also suggests is that Mitch Marner is your best player. You're not going to win like that. Mitch Marner at 8x7, oh man, all day long, I'd love that. Not at 13. So I would caution the team that signs him to that deal. If you want to win anything, good luck to you. If you want to get in the playoffs, he can help you. But I don't think you're going to be able to contend for a Stanley Cup. You really got to watch the deals that you sign on July 1st in a weak free agent class, where just because he's the best guy available means he's the guy that gets the 10 this year. Just because he's the best guy available doesn't mean he's worth 10.
Yes.
And you got to watch yourself if you're a GM. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's a couple teams that make some mistakes this year.
Wholeheartedly. Dave, great stuff as always, buddy. We'll chat with you, and we'll be talking Stanley Cup next Tuesday. Who's in it? Who's your pick? Who's going to the Cup, Dave?
Well, I think it's Edmonton and Florida. I think it's a rematch of last year. Don't make me make my pick yet on the Cup final. I'll consider that and see what we got next week at this time.
Awesome. Thanks, Davey.
See you, brother.
Dave McCarthy from SiriusXM. Yeah, I agree with him. I said it yesterday. People were freaking out, but I do have a stat that I find quite interesting when it comes to Florida and Edmonton. TR, I'll get you. I'll throw that at you. And Ryan's rant when we return. Jason Gregor, Terry Ryan, live and on the Rocks, Jasper Ave, and 118th Street. Your place to watch the game tonight. It is the Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
The job isn't done until the last load is hauled, and having a semi-trailer out of commission is not an option. Whether replacing or adding to your convoy, Edmonton Trailer has a huge inventory of new and used semi-trailers, trusted by the gravel, logging, oil field, fluids, and freight industries. Find a trailer right for you online or at one of their 3 locations. For sales, service, parts, rental, and finance, when you're in it for the long haul, Edmonton Trailer.
Legend has foretold of a smoothie so delicious and refreshing that it could quench the thirst of a fire-breathing dragon.
But it's also a great pick-me-up after a workout. The new Dragon Slayer smoothie from Booster Juice, a legendary blend of dragon fruit and mangoes, destined to be your next obsession. Try it today, along with the new Dragon Booster Ball and the Pink Dragon Booster Mixer.
3 epic menu items to conquer your cravings. Booster Juice, Canadian-born, blending since 1999.
The big one is here at the Brick. Big deals and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. And save 50% off beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses. These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
It's playoff time. Let's go. From pre- and post-game shows to analysis from Kevin, Lokeside, and Jason. This is going to be a fun run. For all things hockey, lock it in. To Edmonton's sports leader, Sports 1440.
Experience Edmonton Stingers Pro Basketball. Don't miss the midweek showdown on Wednesday, May 28th at 7 p.m. It's the most affordable, family-friendly, fun sports experience in the city. Tickets start at just $20. thestingers.ca.
Day or night, tasting just the right. You can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. Delivering you the news almost right away. Remember, you can order oodle noodle at oodlenoodle.ca. So stay on your couch all day and order oodlenoodle.ca. Oodle noodle.
You've got a go-to coffee spot, a trusted barber, even a lucky game day jersey. But when it's about looking your absolute best, there's only one name you need: Mr. Dirk. Family run since 1939, we're experts in crafting impeccable tailor-made suits and offering a wide variety of everyday styles. Pair that with personalized one-on-one fittings and the convenience of on-site tailoring. Mr. Dirk elevates your style game. Visit our Edmonton store or explore MrDirk.com. Score big on style with Mr. Dirk.
Your Edmonton Riverhawks usher in the 2025 season with a massive home opener party Tuesday, June 3rd. Get there early for a cool Indian relay demo with horses and a world champion hoop dancer. Get your tickets today to watch the Hawks play at gohawks.ca.
Whether you're a weekend camper or you want to spend the summer on a great golf course, Silver Creek Golf and RV Resort has something for everyone. Over 200 service sites, enough room for large groups, and their new online reservation system for campers. See what Silver Creek RV Resort has in store for you. Call 780-855-3982 and book your reservation online today at silvercreekgolfcourse.com.
Yeah. You feel it, baby? 2.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Japa Machinery. Did you know that Japa offers in-house and on-site heavy equipment service? Rain or shine, Japa's service department is here for you. Visit japamachinery.com for all the details.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
$3.50. A little Marky Mark. Oh, Oilers fans are hoping for good vibrations tonight. Whether you're watching the game in the rink or maybe you'll be outside at the Moss Pit, or maybe you'll be here on the Rocks, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. I think there's lots of confidence, quiet confidence, I would sense amongst Oilers fans right now. So you got got a team that's playing very well. They're 10-2 in their last 12 games in the playoffs, and you really, they lost one with 0.4 seconds left. The other one, they just had a meltdown in the third period. They have really controlled a lot of those games. And they're healthy for the most part. Connor Brown is out. Arvidsson comes back in. Calvin Pickard is now healthy. He will be backing up. And Matthias Ekholm is getting closer every day. I still think I won't be shocked if you don't see him until the Stanley Cup final. I won't be shocked. Now, maybe he could play in Game 5. Anything's possible, but so won't be surprised. We keep getting a lot of people wondering, hey, when would the Cup final start? Well, I think if, and this is a big if, but if Florida wins tomorrow and Edmonton wins on Thursday, then the Cup final would start on Wednesday. If one of those doesn't happen and, the game's extended to Friday or Saturday, then the Cup will start next Saturday. So there could be a lengthy break, and I know people, oh my God, that's terrible. Well, last year was the exact same break, just so you know. Florida played on the Saturday, didn't play until the following Saturday. They played in the 1st and the 8th, and the Oilers finished up on the Sunday, and then they play the next Saturday. So that's what I know about that. The NBA is on Thursday. Obviously, they won't go against the NBA. Both those leagues kind of talk, and so I think the NBA is going Thursday, Sunday. So the NHL, if they would probably go go Wednesday, and then have 2 days off, which isn't ideal, to be honest. Right? It's not ideal. Because you're going to have you'd have 1 game, 2 days off, 1 game, 2 days off. It's not ideal, but it's what they might have to do. We'll see. Now, let's get to Ryan's rant, brought to you by Action Electrical. Once again, big shout out to Action for the massive prize pack they donated to us that was won by Kevin last Friday, a $15,000 solar system courtesy of Action Electrical, giving back to the community all the time. TR, what's on your mind?
Okay, just a few little things to touch on here. First of all, I want to correct. When I asked Dave that question about Shanahan losing, I didn't mean Brendan Shanahan in particular. They got rid of the job itself, didn't they? Am I wrong?
Well, yeah, Shanahan was gone, and they just said they're not really replaced him. Now, keep in mind, I think part of it is because now – they have one organization that owns the Maple Leafs, the Blue Jays, and the Raptors. And so I think the president is going to be somebody who oversees all, not just each individual one.
Okay. Fair enough. That's kind of what I was wondering. Second of all, to any young players out there, and I'm using that term very loosely, if you're still learning and you're playing hockey, no matter what age, I think people talk about how the NHL playoffs get more intense, and they do. We just used the example with the Oilers, how the best players step up and they do everything, and they hit and they skate, they back check. Guys like Hyman hit way more. Like guys that are already involved become really involved. So everything kind of picks up a level. But I want to point out how much more communication there also is. Just look in the players, to the goalies and the D is obvious, but like the whole game, man, you can hear it on the TV. And these places are packed with people cheering for most of the game. But communication is really important. And me being left wing, the D coming out behind that, whether that D is going to rim it or whether he passes it to me could be the difference between what happened to Connor Brown. Really. And there's a lot of times during the game, and I'm watching it, and you can see them communicating. And you're like, how did he know? Well, he knows because they're talking to each other. And it's a big thing. And you have to communicate no matter where you are, no matter what level. Like in the playoffs, it's just going to be a little bit harder, right? So you need to communicate more. I really can't emphasize that enough. Yep. In my experience, whatever I'm playing when it gets to the playoffs, whatever level, I just always found that to be a major, major factor that a lot of people don't really talk about. So I want to point that out. Lastly, I have a question. And this is going to seem absurd. I could be wrong on this. I didn't do the research. Could have. So Gavin McKenna doesn't go in the draft till next year, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So he's a superstar of, we're talking about these generation. I know I'm not putting NHL pressure like Bedard, but the same sort of thing. And I believe this guy's already, they talk about being, a very aware two-way player for his age. So we're talking about another phenomenon. If people don't know who I'm talking about, look at the stats. I think people listening to this show will, because they're out west. Now he's at the Memorial Cup. Let's just say they win the Memorial Cup. Now he's got another year left, right? Now let's just say they win the Memorial Cup, which would be, again, for someone to lead their team to a Memorial Cup and still not be a full year, they get a full year left. I'm just bringing this up. Is it possible that he plays NCAA because there's less games? You're probably not going to, there's the chance for injury goes down, the chance for everything, the fatigue that comes with the Western League. Now, for me, I enjoyed it. I don't know, the game I played, I felt it was a necessary thing for me to play in the Western League. Now, for Gavin McKenna, now you don't really know who's going to draft him, so it's not like you can get advice. Would his agent, would anybody in his world, and not only from the point of view of not playing a lot and saving your body the fatigue and the injury, but could you get both? Like if he plays, there's a good chance he's going to be up for the Hobie Baker. They might win wherever he would go. And that would be a unique thing in itself. So it might be something that he strives to do. Am I totally out in left field here? Or is this a possibility?
Oh, no, I think it's a direct possibility because there's now, guys can get paid a little bit in NCAA. And, there's some concern for sure in the Western League for him to go there. Now, see, I would look at it the other way, Terry. The minute you make a decision worrying about injuries, I think it's the wrong decision.
Good point.
So that'd be my number one. Number two, I'm Gavin McKenna. I know for a fact that I'm playing in the NHL 4 months after I'm drafted, right? Like he's that good. He's going to the NHL.
Yeah.
For his body, I would rather be playing a 68 game season, just, have the wear and the tear so you're used to it, right? I think, go to college. It's a little bit, he'd have more time to train for sure, but I don't know if that's what he's lacking. I think for him, more reps is better. So if I'm him, I'm actually going the WHL road because this is a guy. Now, other guys who need more time to develop because they're a little bit smaller, I would go the NCAA route. I'd have no problem with that. But I think in the case of Gavin McKenna, I wanted to go. And if you win the Memorial Cup, TR, who's the last player and last team to go back-to-back the Memorial Cup? The Western Hockey League's hosting it. Now, that's why I thought the WHL made a grave error when Medicine Hat had the chance to host next year. They should have picked it because that would have kept them there. Guaranteed.
Yeah.
It would have kept them there. It was a terrible decision by the league. Old cronies to hanging out with their buddies again and giving it to the same organization. I didn't like that decision at all. But either way, you know what? You're going to have 2 representatives from the WHL. And the Medicine Hat Tigers should be a pretty good team again next year. They'll lose some guys for sure. Lidstrom's going to NCAA, but he didn't play all year anyway. So I would still go back to junior if I'm him. But it is a good debate, and I know that there's going to be the lure of potential money, but he's going to make more than enough money in his career. I would look at what's going to set me up the best to be NHL ready.
Yeah, I think that's well said. And if it's me as a player, I definitely want more. Like, I don't remember ever being young and going like, making any kind of decision based on games played. Back then, you kind of want those games played. I remember actually going, why don't we play 80 like the NHL? And anyway, but that's just me. And it was a different time, a different era, different circumstance in almost every way. Other than it's the Western Hockey League. So I was curious what you thought. I honestly, this just kind of, one of my buddies asked me this because he's been following. I'm watching the Memorial Cup, but I didn't even really ever think about that as a possibility. Now I suppose at some point in the future, now this is going to happen. But just where he's got that late birthday, and then he's got the chance to be such dominant. It's a unique situation. But yeah, if you're asking me. And not only that, with the less games, there's probably going to be a few distractions. He waltzes on at, Boston College or something like that. And, I mean, you think junior guys like to get together for a few. I mean, you're probably going to be a little bit distracted with half the games being played and you're absolute king on campus. So I would probably be aware of that as well. I was curious what you thought of it.
Yeah, no, I think it's an interesting one. And, I do know that the league is obviously, the WHL, I think, is going to, do as much as they can to keep him there. He's a huge name. It's big for their league. It's big for every team in the WHL, Terry, because when the Medicine Hat Tigers and Gavin McKenna come to town, you've got more fans that will come to your games. That's just a proven fact. When Connor Bedard was going through the league, people want to go see Connor Bedard, right? Like the Edmonton Oil Kings would benefit when the Medicine Hat Tigers come to town, right? The whole league benefits from it. And that's why, I hope the league learns from this, that you got to think bigger sometimes and look and say, hey, Gavin McKenna, we knew this would have been his draft year. We could have hosted the Memorial Cup. What better way to send him off to the NHL than having the Medicine Hat Tigers in the Memorial Cup with one of the league's best players, if not the best player, the best player in the league, no question at this point. So I thought that was some short-sightedness, and I think they'll do a lot because, earlier on, TR, the latest rumbling I heard from people who are much closer in the WHL scene than I am is that, he's had multiple offers from NCAA, but, he's still wearing it. He's still thinking about it. And, up to 15 or 16, I'd heard. Every team is going to want to get him. There's no question about it.
I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Right. But even think about it now. Let's say a team does sign him. That's the other thing. Other guys have already gone to this program thinking I might be the number one center. Well, now suddenly I'm going to be the second line center, or, and that's what the free agency is essentially what it is in NCAA right now. It's free agency every year, and I really don't think it's good for the long-term health of the league.
Yeah.
I just don't think it is. It's not
especially when with him, it's a 1 year. Everybody knows it's 1 year.
Yes.
So you're going to go and you're going to throw off the whole program. There's somebody there that's going to be a good pro, a great university player, and a great college player, and will grow into a decent NHLer. There's people, but you're going to screw up them in the middle of their program, right? You're 2 years in. Yeah, by the way, you're not going to be the first line center anymore. And we might even take the captain away just for 1 year. But here, go back at it. That would be weird. That would be weird.
Yeah, it would be. And I think that's going to be the challenge for these programs, is thinking that you can always just go for it every year. But the thing is, some teams will do it, TR, because money talks, and some kids are going to chase the money in the portal window. To me, I think you should get one portal during your 4 year span. That would be I think that's the easiest way to do it, but we'll see. TR, as always, good to chat with you. We will talk with you on Thursday. We'll be setting up game 5. It's either going to be 2-2 or the Oilers will have a chance to clinch on Thursday. Should be a lot of fun.
Should be. Thank you, Edmonton, Connor, Jason. We'll see you guys. 2 shakes of a lamb's tail.
2 shake. Oh, it's great saying. Sounds like my dad. Let's get to the Con Man and a Sports 1440 update brought to you by Booster Juice. And stop in. Do you want the Dragon Slayer smoothie, the Dragon Booster Ball, the Dragon Mixer? They got them all right now at Booster Juice.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day, Oilers and Stars down at Rogers Place Puck Drop just after 6. We've got pregame coverage getting going at 5 right here on Sports 1440 with Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, and Donovan Paulson. In the association night, you got Nick's Pacers beating in Game 4 of their Eastern Conference Final. Indiana up 2-1. Tip-off just after 6 o'clock in the majors. Toronto in action. Taking on the Rangers once again. That's starting just after 6 o'clock as well. You also got the White Sox and Mets, Braves, Phillies, Giants, Tigers, and the Orioles hosting the Cards. And at the Memorial Cup, Battle of the Undefeated, Mets and the Tigers taking on the London Knights. That one starting in just over an hour. And at the French Open, Montreal's Felix Auger-Aliassime out after giving up a 2-set lead in the first-round loss to Italy's Matteo Arnaldi. Coming up in Hour 3 of the Jason Gregor Show, we'll be joined by Mark Spector of Rogers Sportsnet, former Oilers defenseman Jason Strudwick, and we'll ask 5 questions. I'm Connor Halley. This has been a Sports 1440 update.
Sports 1440, Stingray radio station. CKJR broadcasts from West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin.
Download the free Stingray music app and listen wherever you go.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta sports and casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
My utility bills are going through the roof. How can I take advantage of the sun and put my lazy roof to work?
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Energy team reporting. When you're ready to make your home or business more efficient, Action Electrical has the power to install solar panel systems and EV chargers.
Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action, operating throughout Alberta with supercharged skills and strong family values. ActionElectrical.net.
Silent Ice Sports and Entertainment is an innovative market leader across
Oilers
Western
fans are
Canada. With sports and entertainment properties, including the Spruce Grove Saints, the Junior Prospects Hockey League, Silent Rides Charter Company, the Hockey Super League, and the newly launched Female Super League. Silent Ice also owns the Western Hockey League's Seattle Thunderbirds and operates the Morinville AAA Arena. The Silent Ice Center, a new state-of-the-art entertainment facility, is open in Nisku, which features 2 sheets of ice, including a 1,600-seat arena and a restaurant with a viewing area.
April showers brought huge deals to Wolf GMC Buick. It's truck month all of May, and we froze our prices on in-stock inventory to save you money. Get 0% financing for up to 72 months on some of our most popular Sierra pickups, or select up to $8,000 off on these amazing trucks. If you're in need of an SUV, good news, we have a great selection of Buicks and GMCs. Plus, Costco members may be eligible for an additional $1,200 discount. What are you waiting for? Spring into Wolf GMC Buick.
Wolf GMC Buick. We're making it easy.
Tee off to win with Cattail Crossing's $10,000 hole-in-one challenge, powered by Sports 1440, Canada's first ever Aqua Range event. Just walk up, grab some golf balls, and start swinging. Or book a VIP bay today. Win $10,000 with a hole-in-one, plus great secondary hole and leaderboard prizes. Closest to the pin and monthly winners will battle for a $50,000 grand prize. The hole-in-one challenge, open Thursday to Sunday, noon till 8 through August. Weather permitting, cattailcrossing.ca.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer.
Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Do it. Your vehicle is a big investment. Protect it at Hughes Car Wash. We use only clean, fresh water and the highest quality car wash soap. Hughes Car Wash, the car wash pros.
Do it at Hughes Car Wash. Find us at HughesCarWash.com.
Blue Jays baseball is back on Sports 1440. This Saturday and Sunday, listen live to the broadcast of Canada's favorite team. Proud to be the home of Blue Jays baseball. We are Sports 1440.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Harley-Davidson of Edmonton on the Yellowhead Trail, locally owned and operated by the Kent family, celebrating 45 years. See all our rides at hdedmonton.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Just after 4 o'clock. Ooh, the bells. Like that song. Like it a lot. Welcome back. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440. It's the Gregor Show, as always, presented by our title sponsor, PlayAlberta.ca. There's an odd boost on every Oilers game day, which is today. So check it out at PlayAlberta.ca. You're getting better odds. And hey, are you feeling confident? Check it out. Maybe you got McDavid for a goal. Who knows? Or would it be better? Think about this. The Oilers have 10 victories so far. They've had 9 different players score a game-winning goal in the playoffs this year. They're getting contributions and key contributions up and down the lineup. They got 18 skaters have at least 1 goal. Could Troy Stetcher get another one? Be 19? We'll see. He, of course, is in the lineup tonight. No changes on defense. Ekholm's not ready to play yet. Calvin Pickard will be the backup. And Victor Arvidsson, who did not hide that it's been frustrating, and I can respect that. He'll be back in after sitting out for 5 games. Connor Brown is out. I don't expect Connor Brown back in this series, if I'm being honest. So, it'll be Arvidsson, and who knows? Maybe Jeff Skinner. I know people are calling for Jeff Skinner. Like I said, unless it's a left winger, I don't see Jeff Skinner coming into the lineup for the Edmonton Oilers. Or maybe if it's a center who goes down, you got to move Nugent Hopkins back full time, then maybe that. Now, we are live and on the rocks, Jasper Ave, 118th. Your place to watch the game tonight. Come in. Better yet, they got a few tables left for reservation. 100% guarantee yourself a seat. Obviously, you can show up last minute. The fans, what I like about it, last week people show up and there's a table, there's some empty chairs. Hey, you want to sit here? And people become friends watching the game, because that's the one thing about the playoffs. All of a sudden, strangers are best friends with everybody. You're high-fiving, you're cheering with people you never even talk to normally on the street. So it makes us a little bit more social as a society. That's a good thing. Winning seems to do that. Who doesn't like a good time? Look at those dance-offs you see at the Moss Pit. Everybody's having fun. It's great. So you know what? There'll be a dance-off maybe on stage afterwards. You never know. Jasper Ave, 118th. Now let's get to the Spec Report, brought to you by GS Construction. Oh, God, could you imagine a dance-off with Turan and the Mike and the fellas at GS? Oh, God, I'd pay money not to see that. It's a GS Construction. As Mark Spector joins us. Spec, how you doing?
All right, man. What's going on?
Well, buddy, there's lots happening. Of course, the Oilers and the Stars. Rupe Hintz. I'm expecting him to play. Are you?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I think. Listen, I never thought he was faking it. Okay. The question was whether he could play. The fact that he missed Game 3 tells me that he's dinged. So yeah, I think he'll play. I don't know. I suspect he'll play. The question you should be asking is, how close to 100% you think he is?
I'm gonna say he's pretty close.
You think?
Right, little extra days. Like, it's been 4 days. Like, dude, how many times do we see a guy get slashed like that? So I'm gonna say.
Well, I know, but I've seen guys get slashed like that 500 times and never missed a game. This guy couldn't play the next game, so
Well, clearly he's soft, Spec. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I'm not going down that road. I'm not saying that. Finnish guys are tough.
No, I just want to fire up Yoni if he's listening. That's why. Firing up Yoni.
Okay.
Then we get
I'm
fired
with you
up.
on that.
Yeah, so it gets emotional, so it's great. I love it. But hey, they're going to need Rupe Hintz, man. But Rupe Hintz is like, you put Rupe Hintz on a list. Hey, Jamie Benn, you're on the list. Wyatt Johnson, you're on the list. Matt Duchesne, you're on the list. Mason Marchman, you're on the list. Hell, everybody's on the list except Tyler Seguin, really. I know Robertson did finally get a goal, and Sam Steele in his roles played pretty well. But, God, there's Dadanoff. Like, there's a lot of their forwards 5-on-5 doing a whole lot of nothing through 3 games.
Yeah, it's not a list, my friend. It's a milk carton. Dadonov, there's a guy that should be able to help you, right? He should help you. And he's Not, maybe tonight he does. I don't know, but he barely touched the puck in this series, man. So yes, I think we've gone from my best players need to be my best players to be, can somebody be my best player here? Right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care who scores, but someone better start. They we're shut out in game two, right? 1 goal in game 3. We're 3 games into this thing, and they had one really dominant period in terms of on the scoreboard. I think what I get Pete DeBoer. He's trying to play psychologist here, and he's saying, hey, our game's getting better every day. We were better in game 2 than game 1, better in game 3 than game 2. Our game's going up, up, up. This is awesome. Well, if your game's going up and you're still getting beat 6-1, that's an issue. If that's your game getting better and it goes from 3-0 to 6-1, his players need to start to back up his words, right? They got to, enough's enough here. Either you're competing in the series or you're not. Tonight's the night we find out.
Yeah. What about Arvidsson? Where would you play him?
I think I'd move Kapanen down to the 4th line. I'd play Podkolzin, Draisaitl, and Arvidsson on my 2nd line. What about you?
Ooh, really? Well, actually, I might be different than most. I'm going to start the game with McDavid, Draisaitl, and Perry because I love that Kane, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins line. I thought they were excellent. And you know what? I'd run with it because I know that McDavid and Draisaitl at any point can go off and dominate, and I really like my 2nd line. So, and then I would put Arvidsson, Podkolzin, and Janmark. They played together the 4 games before, and they played really well. Okay. So I would go back to that line, actually. And then that leaves me with the new combination of Kapanen, Frederick, and Henrique. And I don't mind that line because the Henrique Kane line, that hadn't really worked. So that's what I would do. I would go with Kapanen, Frederick, and Henrique as my other line.
Well, the difference is your team has McDavid and Draisaitl on the same line, and mine doesn't. And that's really where it starts in Edmonton. When you're building your lines in Edmonton, that's where it begins. Are these guys together or are these guys apart? So he goes back and forth. It's usually within a series. Not many series get played where it's the same all the way through, hey?
No.
In the history. I'm not talking about one shift after a PK. I'm talking about starting lineups. Yes. He tends, within any 6-game span, Knobloch will shift. Maybe tonight's night he goes there. Sure. I don't mind that idea at all.
Yeah. I like the reason you can do it now, Spec, is that, and we had Ryan Whitney on, and I talked about it yesterday on the show. So Connor McDavid has 2 goals, plays pretty well. He's not even one of the best 3 orders in the game. Like, when, I don't know if that's ever happened in the history of McDavid's career. And it happens in the conference final, and Zach Hyman's hitting everything that moves. He's +5. He's got 5 shots, 2 goals, and an assist. Nugent Hopkins has 3 assists. Stuart Skinner plays unreal in the 2nd period. Like, McDavid didn't play poorly. It's just that's how many guys right now are pulling on the rope that you can have the best player in the world have a good game, and people are kind of like, not that you didn't notice it, but it's not the main storyline. Like, you've been writing the orders for a long time, Spec. Was your article about how Connor McDavid had a pair of goals? Wasn't like it was in the article, but it wasn't the main focus of the article.
He scored what I would call the clutch goal in the game.
Yes.
That was the biggest goal. But no, your point's well taken. The thing that, and maybe it's hand in hand here, the thing that gets me about this version of the Oilers is how dominant and how well they're playing, how dominant they can be without much help from their power play. This team, this kind of the power, as the power play went, the Oilers used to go. And that is not the case now. We all know the travails of their penalty kill. It's nothing better than average here. But, they scored 6 and the 6th one was meaningless. It was a power play goal, right?
Yeah.
The first 5 weren't. That's the biggest change for me in this Oilers team, and it makes them better. Like,
yeah, it makes them. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh my God, over the top, win a Stanley Cup, can't beat them. If they had like last year's power play, forget it, can't beat that team.
Yeah, no, well, that's true. Like and what it shows me is every year is different. Last year, you got to the Stanley Cup final, got to Game 7, and lots of other guys played well. You just had your top guys going nuclear, and that's what you'll need at times. This year, McDavid's still going to, if they get to the Cup final, he's still going to be in the 30-point range. You might be at 36. He's on pace for, if they play another, 8 games, let's say, whatever the series, maybe there's 2 here and there's 6, let's say 8 or 9, whatever the number is. Yeah. Well, that's still going to put him at 36, 37 points based on what his pace is, which is still one of the greatest playoff seasons ever, but it's not going to be looked upon nearly the same.
Well, sure. I mean, I guess I'd frame it like this. He's still leading the league in playoff points. Whatever you want the number to be, nobody has a higher number than McDavid. And I see today the Oilers have the 3 of the top 6 or 4 of the top. 4 of the top. How many?
4 of the top 6, right? With Nugent Hopkins.
Yeah, Nugent Hopkins and Bouchard are in there. So listen, goal scoring's never been an issue. It's not an issue. That's awesome. Again, if the power play starts chipping in one every night, stand back. I'm not sure how you beat that team, but they're good. They're good, and they're rolling, and it's consistent. That's one thing, is what they're rolling out. They're starting to roll out pretty much every single night. What do they want? 9 out of 11? I mean, that's a hell of a streak in October, right? Here we are in May.
10 out of 12 they've won. So
10 out of 12.
Yeah, even better. So, you look at how they're winning. Some nights Stuart Skinner's playing great. Some nights their team defense is giving up nothing. Other nights but very few nights do they have to be like, God, our offense has to be unreal. Now they have won a game. I think they won the one game 6-4 against the LA Kings. And, so that's great. They had to do it. But the other element for me that I find interesting, Spec, is how well they have done taking away the other team's best asset. Yeah. So the Vegas Golden Knights, best team in the regular season, scoring off the rush. The Oilers are like, okay, thanks. They only gave up 3. The Dallas Stars, second best team in the NHL off the rush. Not only are the Oilers outscoring them 5-1 off the rush, odd man chances 13-5, scoring chances 20-9. Like, they're crushing them, not only limiting the chances, but creating their own at the same time.
So that starts defensively. That usually starts at the Oilers' offensive blue line. That's where the mistake gets made that leads to an odd man rush, right? So that tells you that they're making the right plays. They're, like that play that Draisaitl made on the Sagan goal in the first game where he brought it way back to the blue line and then coughed it up. They're not doing that very often, So yeah, the Oilers are what I like about like your stat is Edmonton's limiting odd man rushes, but they're not doing it by standing 3 in a row at center ice like the LA Kings do. They're playing hockey. Right? They're pressing offensively, but they're not making the key turnover that the other guys transition into a 3-on-2. That to me that's a good hockey team playing good hockey. If they're going to play as well as they're playing, Jay, and not give you any opportunity via the mistake or the turnover, oh man, there's a reason they've been winning every period in the series, right? Dallas is looking for something. Give me a mistake, man. Give me something. And right now they're not getting many.
The Calvin Pickard as a backup, Spec, I don't expect him to get in, and I'm not sure he'll play another game this postseason, which is fine. But to me, it's such a massive mental security break for a team now, because had the Dallas Stars opted to run Stu Skinner, or maybe he gets an unfortunate injury or something, right? Like we saw him, he got hit and it wasn't even a dirty play, but he ended up being out for a while. Like, if you had to go to Olivier Rodrigue, that really could have soured your season. And so giving Calvin Pickard back, even if he's only just a backup, I still think is a pretty big exhale for the organization.
Oh yeah, for sure it is. And I heard somebody, one of the Sportsnet guys saying, man, when Rodrigue was on the bench, we were having this very same conversation. I think it was in the hotel bar in Dallas. And he said, boy, they would have looked good if they gave up a 4th or 5th round pick at the deadline for a veteran, instead of playing Rodrigue. And I think at the moment he's right. The other thing you got to say is the concussion spotter. You know how sometimes your goalie just gets pulled out for 10 minutes by the concussion spotter. You feel a lot better about Pickard coming in ice cold than a kid that's never played a playoff minute in the National Hockey League. So yes, all of that. And I think inside the doors, places we never go, I think Pickard's a big part in there. I think he's knows at the right time to throw a little humor. He knows the right time to, I think he really, he helps Stu Skinner's confidence. I think he knows what Stu needs and when he needs it, right? And that's also good. You know, he's a perfect backup. Everyone loves him, and he can play. What more do you want of your backup?
No. I would have strongly disagreed with that guy over a beer about how the Oilers would have went and got a veteran. Like, first of all, which veteran can you get? And they didn't have any room in the cap to have him anyway. So, period, it makes no sense. I would have shot so many holes through that. He would have been buying me shots.
He was buying me a beer, so I had to listen.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, whatever. The things that Speck will do to get a free beer. Tell me again about Corsi. Oh, yes. I can hear Speck just listening to it. Loving it, eh? Oh. Awesome. Speck, we'll see you at the rink, man. Have a good one.
All right, man.
Yeah, it's Mark Spector. This is Speck Report. Oh, yeah, come on. You can't. Oh, they would have looked good getting it. What the hell are you talking about? Like, come on. Right, because by the way, if they needed a vet, Colin Delia, they got a vet. Not much of an NHL veteran, but you know the Oilers had no cap space to go out there and get a guy to sit on your roster as the number 3 goaltender. Come on now, let's be real here. They didn't need that. Quick break. We will return. Jason Gregor, Connor Halley, Sports 1440, Oilers Nation, YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram. Struddy will join us next, and we'll break down the Oilers' defensive play and why it has been so good, really, for the last 12 games. This is not a 1 game or 2 game. This is 12 games. They're 10-2 against playoff teams because many of you were texting the show during the year. Look at the Oilers' record against playoff teams. They're terrible. They're not going to go anywhere. Well, now they're 10-2 in their last 12 against 100-point playoff teams. We'll discuss it next. The Jason Gregor Show, presented by PlayAlberta.ca.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
Adventure just doesn't stumble into your life. It roars to life with Riverside Motorsports. Tearing up trails or cruising the open road. Yamaha ATVs, side-by-sides, motorcycles, and dirt bikes deliver the performance you crave. Built for thrills, ready for your next adventure. Yamaha's legendary performance and reliability take you there. Make Mother Nature your playground on a Yamaha from Riverside Motorsports. Located on St. Albert Trail. RideRiverside.com. Riverside Motorsports. What you do for fun is our business.
Silent Rides is one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. With state-of-the-art motor coaches, we provide our customers with the safest and most reliable ground transportation. Our seatbelt-equipped buses have become the preferred carrier for many local sports teams, tours, corporate outings, and other various travel across Western Canada. For more information and to request a quote, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
I'm tired of waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Explore beyond the boundaries of capability and value during Truck Month at GMC. Right now, get 0% financing for up to 72 months on the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Pro Graphite. With a TurboMax engine delivering 310 horsepower, GMC Pro safety features including automatic emergency braking, plus a max towing of up to 9,500 pounds. You'll be ready for anything this Truck Month. Ask your GMC dealer for details.
In 1973, deep in the basement of an Edmonton family home, an elite team of specialized forces came together to form Action Electrical.
Action Electrical Divisions, assemble!
Projects team reporting.
Service team reporting.
Testing team reporting.
Energy team reporting.
Supercharged with skills in their electrical fields and grounded by strong family values. Facing an electrical menace? Call on the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net.
Hold on to your hockey helmet, Edmonton. On the Rocks is serving up 60-cent wings that fly off the plate faster than a slap shot. And Molson Canadians for $5.25. OTR's TVs, hey, they're so clear you'll see the puck better than the ref. That ain't hard, is it? And every game night during Edmonton's playoff run, specials start 30 minutes before puck drop and last for the whole game. Be a part of the legend. See the menu at ontherocksyeg.com.
Every morning, you look in the mirror and see less of yourself. Hair loss can feel like losing a part of who you are.
But it doesn't have to be that way. Hi, I'm Dr. Vance Elliott. At Advanced Hair and Skin Surgery, we understand the pain of hair loss. Our advanced hair restoration solutions won't just bring back your hair, they'll help you face the mirror with confidence.
Good morning, you sexy beast. Visit drvanceelliott.com today because it's time to be the man you remember.
Diablo Boots sells only Canadian-made work and biker boots made by Canada West. No American or boots made in China, so no tariffs. All of Diablo's boots have replaceable soles and heels for longer life. Sizes 6 to 14 Triple E. Buy quality, buy Canadian. And support Canada West and Diablo, the two best names in the boot business. So save on boots by Save On Foods. That's Diablo Boots, 3340 Gateway Boulevard on the east side of Save On Foods. Buy Canadian. They're terrific.
Hey, Alberta, the all-new Play Alberta app is here. Casino, sports betting, lottery, all in one app, right on your phone. And because it's Play Alberta, you know it's safe, secure, and reliable. Download it now and play over 500 online casino games, live dealer tables, and unique games you'll love. Plus, bet on sports from anywhere in the province. You in? Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and deposit using promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus on the house. That's promo code OIL for a $100 casino bonus.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen. Today is Ben Stelter's birthday, and all proceeds today from sales at Popeyes are going to the Ben Stelter Foundation in honor of Ben. Head to Popeyes to support an amazing local foundation until June 3rd.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
.430, just under 2 hours away from puck drop. Game 4. Got plans where you're watching? If not, come to OTR, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. Who knows? Maybe they'll have the Struddy special on. Maybe if they get to the final, well, they'll have the Struddy special. Those who know, they know. If you don't know, we'll debate if you're missing out or not. We'll see. Jason Gregor Show is always presented by PlayAlberta.ca. As we're time now to get to our big guest of the day, brought to you by the Female Super League. And you see the success of the PWHL expanding out west. Well, guess what? The Female Super League also expanded. It's been 12U, 14U, now 16U. So more opportunity for young girls to play and chase their dreams. Check it out at femalesuperleague.com as we get to Struds On.
The Jason Gregor Show presents Struds On.
I don't believe in tea bags. I use loose leaf tea. It is so much better than the tea bags. I'll eat tea bags. I'll
Struds On.
I'm not a huge DJ guy. I mean, I guess if you hand me a couple glow sticks and a tight white t-shirt that I can get wet, maybe I'd be into it.
Struds On.
There's a lone steakhouse I used to go to down in Kentucky, and they had bowls of peanuts. I wasn't sucking on those ones. You need to have clean nut. I'm talking about the kind you get in a bag at an Elks game. You know what I mean?
It's time for Struds On.
Struddy, happy Tuesday to you. I know you just got back from a big road trip, but I do want to ask you, Struddy, because I'm sure as you're watching the games and you're seeing the Oilers' defensive play, specifically, though, off of the rush. That is Dallas is one of their bread and butters, and the Oilers have neutered it. How?
Well, it starts, not surprisingly, in the offensive zone. So what's happening is when the Oilers are entering the zone, the Dallas zone with speed, they've taken the risk out of their game, as far as cross-ice passes as you're crossing the blue line, risky plays to try to just hope that it gets to the middle or hope it finds someone. Or, if there's a wide lane, you try to cut back to the middle where there's lots of support there. So they've taken that risk out of their game. And just by doing that, you now take away counter-punching chances for the Dallas Stars. So that's a huge start. The second part is I think they're trying to get their guys to what I call read load. So that means, if the puck goes from you're in the left-hand corner, goes to the right-hand corner, well, you get back up above the puck as much as you can, and at times even above their center. So if they get the puck, now they can attack. So those two little details right there slow down the other team's, ability to counterpunch. And then off the rush itself, I think that you see the D-men are standing up, pretty well. And that's because there's a lot of back pressure. And then the more back pressure you see, the more you stand up as a D-man. So, it's not one thing. It's a collection of items, Greg, that really makes a difference. And just it frustrates a team that likes to get up and get going off the rush.
Yeah, well, it does. And they've and not only are they limiting them, Struds, they're creating way more chances themselves. So it's a double whammy for the Stars. Not only are they creating nothing off the rush, they're now having to defend more off the rush. And Edmonton's outscored them 5-1 off the rush. They've also outscored them 9-3, 5-on-5. Now, that's not a surprise to me. I wrote it before the series started. The Oilers were the best 5-on-5 team in the playoffs, and the Dallas Stars had a negative 5-on-5 goal, 4-goal against differential coming into the series, and it's only gotten worse. Like, when I watch it, I don't see, other than the second period, because when they won the third period in game one, it was on the power play. Other than the second period, Struds, I haven't seen Dallas have any sort of sustained pressure 5-on-5 all series.
Yeah, I mean, the Oilers probably should be and could be up, 3-0 in this series, other than the one period you talked about. They've done a really good job, and it's just going back to the rush chances. When you manage the puck, like I spoke about earlier, and the way you play in the offensive zone, the other team gets frustrated, and they feel they have to open up and take a few more chances against you. And then what they do is they try things that aren't working at the offensive blue line, as I outlined. And now you go back and they're maybe halfway through a shift and you have fresh guys, and now you're on them, and you're working around in their offensive zone. The Oilers are really good at going from low to high, maybe D to D, back down again. Like they're using all four corners of the offensive D zone. It doesn't maybe happen right away, but eventually you break that group down and you just make them work in their own end. I've been pretty vocal. What I would suggest for Dallas is to split up Hartley and Heiskanen. I know they have not played together the whole time, but I want more puck movement, more speed apart to get more rocket fuel into my attack and just a little bit more quickness around, so you can get more of that in the offensive zone that we haven't really seen a ton from Dallas.
Yeah, well, they have split them up, right? Because you had especially on the road in Edmonton, they did last game. You had Harley playing with Ceci most of the time, and I get why, but to me, it's their forwards. Like, I haven't even noticed Jamie Benn. Like, we're talking about Zach Hyman hitting everything that moves. Jamie Benn's a big, physical, strong guy, right? Like, that's his bread and butter. I just don't know if he can get there anymore because, like, has Jamie Benn even gotten a scrum yet this series?
And that's what's surprising, right? The Oilers, they're trying to be like Florida, bullies. Whether it's Nurse's slash, which I didn't mind at all, on Rupe Hintz for 2 minutes. He got more than his money's worth out of that one. And, some of the things we're seeing from other players on the team. I expected Jamie Benn to be one of the guys that kind of pushes back. And he really hasn't been involved at all. He's the emotional leader of that team. And I think he's got emotionally connected to the series, Grace, because so far he hasn't. And, it's not that it's late, but, depending on how tonight goes, it can get pretty late, pretty early here for Jamie Benn and his team.
Yeah, 100%. Jason Strudwick joins us. Struddy, what would you do? Where would you put Arvidsson in? What lines would you run?
I'm going to go. I want to have the big guys together because I think that it's a night where you can really come out, put those guys out there. And, the Nuge line with Hyman and Kane was good. McDavid was good. I want to put a ton of pressure on these guys tonight. So then I'd put Arvidsson down. I'd probably pair him with, well, Paul Colson for sure, and then you got to pick a center, either Henrique or Janmark. Probably Janmark then, I guess. I don't know. How would you do it?
I would actually put Arvidsson back with Janmark and Podkolzin. That was the line that played well together, because then I'm going to put Kane, Hyman, and Nugent-Hopkins, and I'm going to load up the Draisaitl, McDavid, Perry line, because I love that Kane, Hyman, Nugent-Hopkins line. I thought they were excellent. So, which is great to say I can do that, because then I can load up McDavid and Draisaitl, not really worry about it. And then it gives me Henrique, Frederick, and Kapanen. I know that's a new line combination, but you know, the one line that hasn't had a lot of success 5-on-5 was the Henrique, Brown, Kane line. I know Brown's out anyway, so it's automatically changed, but that would allow me to switch that up. But then the other lines are guys that have all played together, so I'm fine with it.
Yeah, and I think like by doing this, I really think that, you know, Knobloch, who's been really good at tweaking the lines, is, you know, the whole time he's been knowing our coach, is that you're saying we're going to come after you and we're coming out to win this game tonight. You know, we want to come. They're going to. I expect they'd be shot out of the cannon, and especially those two top lines, not the others can, but those two top lines are going to press and press and press and put pressure until Dallas breaks, and they want to get the win tonight. They don't want going back 2-2 in Dallas. So that line combination tells me, if that's what they go with, that we're coming after you tonight and we want to win this game. That's what we're here for.
Starting Klingberg and Wallman. Have they surprised you in how dominant of a pair they've been?
I'm surprised Klingberg's even playing. You know, earlier in the playoffs, I didn't think we'd see him again, right? He came back, then he got injured, and we couldn't see what was going on. So yeah, I'm blown away. But you know, I heard Klingberg talk about he likes playing with the guys who really move the puck, and Wallman can do that, and he's done a really good job. So they've been huge for this team.
Oh God, like Wallman's blocking tons of shots, and I agree with you on Klingberg. You're just like, after you saw him in the regular season, then it's in a weird way that foot infection. I don't know what it was, but you know, because it wasn't like he got to work out lots. I talked to him about it. It wasn't like he's like, okay, I got more time. He just, I don't know what it was, but man, since he's come back in, he's been excellent for this team. And if you're the Oilers, and I know that, hey, like once Klefbom gets the full green light, they're going to play him. I think they might play 11-7. But if you win tonight, Struddy, I'm not playing him in Game 5. There's no chance. When I got a chance to give him a whole other week off, like it would make no sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I can't advocate for any scenario where the Oilers have 7D. I just think it really throws off their whole rhythm. So I don't think I would do that at all and make that plan.
Really?
Because I mean, if I put him, so I'd put him right back with Bouchard. And listen, it's not fair. Like I really feel for Troy Stecher. He's done more than everything. He's exceeded all the expectations of what we as media fans should want from him. And it's not fair. And I saw Mark Spector's article on him, and I thought he handled it really well. He's like, I want to win, and this guy's a better player than me. This guy being Ekholm, and it sucks. I've been that guy. It's not fun. You've done nothing wrong. You've done everything they ask, but you're not going to play. And you know, they have such good chemistry going to 7 of them. To 6 of them. I wouldn't go to 7. So then Bouchard, Ekholm, keep the aforementioned Klingberg and Wallman together, and then I throw Kulak on the right side with Nurse, and then keep it going in that way, and get those guys. You know, you're getting your best all-around defenseman back, your best one, and that's a huge lift to this group.
Yeah, well, we don't know if he's their best one, and obviously it's Ekholm, not Klefbom. God, I might have to start putting a fine to myself. I don't know how many times I've called ever since I saw Klefbom this year. It's weird, the two Swedes. But yeah, because the other thing about Ekholm is, Struds, like he hasn't played in a long time. Now he'll come back, and I'm sure he'll be fired up, no question about it. And I don't know, in a weird way, maybe it'd be easier. But the reason I thought about doing 11-7 is the last time he came back, he re-aggravated. Now, I'm not saying he came back early either, but you can re-aggravate at any time. And if this guy comes back and now I got to go with 5 defense and overly tax them, I'd rather go with 11 forwards for one game. Just to, you know, maybe it's a little cautious. And I know that the D-men don't love it, but I think for one game, you'd understand it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be fine if you said you're just going to sit there, right? You're going to get one shift and you're just going to sit. You're just going to be there in case something goes sideways with Ekholm specifically, because this is, you know, and I know I've seen Tampa and stuff do it, but just the rhythm these 6 players are in, you don't want to break that up. And you know, for Ekholm, like I agree with you, Greg. So if they win tonight, I don't play him. I just, you know, even gets the clearance, I give him a little more break, a little more time just to keep healing. because let's be honest, they're going to need every single gun they have going into that battle against Florida if they are to get past the Stars, and I'm assuming Florida gets past. So a fresh, healthy, very excited Ekholm is a huge bonus to this group going into that, what would be a rematch. So 100%. So I think tonight we'll go to answer a lot of these questions. But man, I feel bad for Stetcher because, buddy, he's played so well, and that just sucks. But that's the life of a seventh defenseman.
Yeah, it's true, and it's tough. I had a really good conversation with him. Actually, it's coming out in an article tomorrow that we had. We actually played it on the show yesterday, and just talking more, because the thing about Stetcher that I chuckle, Struds, when you watch him play, like I call him scowling Stretcher. Like he never smiles in a game, and he kind of like, you know what? That's just kind of how he has to be, right? He's a smaller defenseman, and he's kind of always, had people kind of doubt him, and he has to play with a chip on his shoulder. Like every shift, Stetcher gives you everything he's got. He's going to lose some battles because of size and whatever else, but you rarely say, gee, Stetcher didn't give me everything he has. He might not have as much of a top end as some other guys, right? Like, hey, it said, Mattias Ekholm a better player than me. I get it. But I do have a lot of respect for a guy who's been in the league this long. And the other thing about Stetcher is he's got actually really good playoff numbers. Like he's like plus 15 or 16, man. Like when he gets in there, and his response was, some guys, you know what? In the playoffs, no one takes shortcuts. He goes, in the regular season, I couldn't really take a shortcut because I'm not good enough. But some guys, he goes, I don't want to point fingers, but some guys might cheat a little bit here or there. And so in the playoffs, it's easier sometimes when everybody on your team isn't cutting a corner.
Yeah, and I guess what I'd call is you can't cheat the game when you're a 6 or 7 D-man and somewhat limited, right?
Yeah.
And his limitation is the size. If he was 6'3", he'd probably be a few $1 million a year player, right? And that's but he never cheats the game. He shows up every night. He has to compete because if he doesn't, someone takes his spot. But I think he's almost at 600 HL games, which is amazing for a non-drafted player to come and to do that over the course of the time. So it's a great story. I bet his teammates love him. They love the way he competes, the way he shows up, and they'll feel sick when he comes out of the lineup. They sometimes guys come up and go down like, damn, this guy's not playing or whatever, but they'll feel sick for him, just like they did with Pickard. If everything goes according to a plan, Pickard might not get back in there, but that's the job of the backup. That's the job. And, we can feel bad for him and stuff, but you go in knowing that's the job. So, but you need those guys. Without Pickard and Stetcher, who knows where they'd be right now. So they're so valuable, but unfortunately at the end of the day, you might be on the sidelines watching your team winning some big games when you've been such a big part of helping them get to that point.
Yeah, that's the hardest thing for sure. And I think it probably makes it a little easier because, Troy Stetcher, you can win a ring, Struddy, and if you don't play any games, you probably don't feel like you contribute. Troy Stetcher, you know what? If he plays 2, 3, 4 more games, he'll look and say, man, I contributed. And I can legitimately say I contributed. And I think that's probably a little bit easier.
Oh, 100%. And you want to get your name on the cup, but let's say he plays 13 games. Like, those would be big minutes for this team. Same with Pickard. If Pickard doesn't play another game, he came in a crucial time and delivered massive performances for this group when they need him the most. And people remember that. If they're able to go on and have success this year, first got to beat Dallas and get to the Panthers, people will talk about Calvin Pickard for 100 years. Now, do you remember he came in and gave us great games when we needed him the most? And that's how fans are. And so, his name will be on the cup. He'll be a winner have had contributed in a significant way as a backup, which is a great thing to feel if you're in that position.
Yeah, it's like Jason Moss when the Esks won the Grey Cup. Remember, Ricky Ray came out for a bit. Jason Moss came back in, got them to the and then 2005, and then Ricky Ray led them to the Grey Cup. So never. You always need a lot of guys to help you win. No question. Struddy, enjoy the game tonight. We will chat with you next week, and we'll be setting up, or we'll already be talking about potentially a game 1 of the Stanley Cup. It's going to either be next Wednesday for game 1. Or the following Saturday, depending on how quick the conference finals end.
Let's hope it's Wednesday, guys. Let's hope.
All right, there you go. Because you know what? If it's Wednesday, that means the Oilers and Florida will both end it tonight and Thursday night, in case you're wondering. We are live and on the rocks. Jasper Avenue 118th. It's the Gregor Show. We'll come back with 5 questions. We got the pregame show and more.
Legacy Heating and Cooling Jingle auditions take 1 for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman. Are you ready, guys?
We were born ready. Heck yes, Nuge. Drop the beat. Legacy, Legacy. We freaking killed it, Nuge. That's what I'm talking about, Zachary Martin Hyman.
Nice guys. We're going to sell a lot of air conditioners.
Hey, doesn't Legacy offer no payments and no interest for a year on those?
Yeah, well, thanks for the assist on the copy points there, Nuge.
It's just what I do.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
I take possession of my commercial space in 3 months. I need lighting.
Hey, to you.
I need data. I need a
I know you just got back from
Sounds like a job for the men and women of Action Electrical.
Projects team reporting. We design, build, and construct all the electrical systems for your projects. Need everything to work right? Get the Action Electrical project team on your site.
Facing an electrical menace? Call the men and women of Action. Operating throughout Alberta at actionelectrical.net. Get moving with Volvo and save big for summer during the May sales event at Volvo Cars Edmonton. It's the final month to lease or finance a 2025 XC90 plug-in hybrid from 1.49% and save $5,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC60 plug-in hybrid from 0.49% and save $3,000. Lease or finance a 2025 XC40 from 0.49% and save up to $2,000. Volvo Cars Edmonton. Great vehicles, better services. Only at VolvoCarsEdmonton.com.
Work hard, get dirty, build better communities. If that sounds like a good day's work to you, GS Construction wants you to be part of their team. Right now, GS Construction is looking to hire experienced top men and pipe layers for underground sewer and water work. So if you know your way around a trench, take pride in doing the job right, and want to be part of a crew that has your back, let's get to work together. Apply now at gsconstruction.ca.
At Fountain Tire, we're all about one thing, taking care of your vehicle. Oh, and your wallet. I guess that's 2 things. Save up to 20% off select tires until June 14th. Fountain Tire. We're on this road together.
Find the perfect tractor for any job at Edmonton Kubota. Their massive selection of compact tractors has something for everyone, whether you're tackling small tasks or big projects. And right now, take advantage of 0% financing for up to 72 months. It's never been easier to get the power and reliability you need. Come down to Edmonton Kubota today and drive away with the tractor that's just right for you. Edmonton Kubota, where your perfect tractor awaits.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
I'm tired of waking up tired. Waking up tired. Waking up tired.
Are you tired of waking up tired? Come visit our sleep experts at the Brick Mattress Store. Get Canada's guaranteed lowest prices on all things sleep. Plus, try your new mattress for 6 months. If you don't love it, we'll find one you do. Some conditions apply. Stop waking up tired. Get the right mattress guaranteed. Only at the Brick Mattress Store.
Portions of this hour brought to you by Sherbrooke Liquor. Sherbrooke is a house of curiosities, a mom and pop, a curated experience that is equal parts wine tastings and 2 fours for May long. See more at SherbrookeLiquor.com.
The Jason Gregor Show, the best of Edmonton sports talk and beyond. This is Sports 1440.
Presented by PlayAlberta.ca, Alberta's only regulated online gambling website.
Questions brought to you by The Brick. We're saving you more. That's what they do. Maybe you've been watching the games. You're like, man, we need to upgrade. We need a new TV. Maybe we need a couch. Stop in right now till the end of May. You're getting great deals, up to 50% off matches, 6% in certain parts. Check it out. The Brick and thebrick.com.
It's time for 5 questions on the Jason Gregor Show.
All right, Jason, question number 1 for you today. Prediction for the game tonight. And let's mix in a bold prediction for old time's sake.
Oh, wow. It's hard to count out the Oilers right now in game 4s and late in series. So I will take the Oilers to win tonight and I guess a bold prediction was Stuart Skinner gets a shutout. So how about that?
All right. Yeah, hard to go against the mighty Oil right now, the way they're playing, especially at even strength. So I'll take the Oilers to win as well. Let's say 4-2 and a bold prediction. Victor Arvidsson, in his return, gets onto the score sheet by going to the net. Bit of a dirty goal for Arvidsson. Question number 2 for you.
I thought you were going to say it wasn't going to fall down.
No.
That'd have been bold.
I would be foolish, I think, to go with that one. That'd be very bold. Question number 2. For the Stars to get back into this one, who do you think needs to step up tonight?
Well, I'm going to go Mikko Rantanen. Like, honestly, your bet, has Mikko Rantanen really done anything in this series? No. So I'm saying you got to win with your best players. So I'll say Mikko Rantanen.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to go with as well. And you know what? Hey, if you want someone to step up, why not the guy between the pipes have a historic performance? That could go a long way as well, keeping them in the game. So another one I'll throw out there would be Mr. Jake Ottinger. Question number 3 for you. We saw the Canes win last night over the Panthers. Panthers down a few players. We should mention that. How long do you think this series goes, and do you give the Canes any chance at all?
Well, I don't get much chance to win. Do I think they could extend this to 6 games? They got home ice advantage. Yeah, I do. I really think that Sam Reinhart injury and the Mikkola has played really well. Like those are 2 significant injuries. I don't think it'll be enough to derail Florida, but that is, that's really good potential news if you believe the Oilers are going to make it there, because Sam Reinhart's a big time player for them, and if he's out, that's great news for Edmonton.
Yeah, I'm going to say, I don't think we're going to see the Panthers lose 3 straight like we saw last year in the Cup final. But I think the Canes can get 1 at home. So I'll say it goes 6 and the Panthers win back on home ice with maybe getting a few players back into the lineup. Question number 4 for you. The reports of the Steelers waiting to sign Aaron Rodgers are out there. Do you think they have to sign Aaron Rodgers, or do you think you'd be okay with Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Skylar Thompson?
Can you repeat those names again, just for our audience? No, come on. No, I don't think it's good enough. I guess they're going to wait. And is he going to be training? Is he going to be in shape? You know what? Is he going to be going on podcasts and mocking people at Sandy Lane? Is that what he's going to do? I'm sorry, Aaron Rodgers, POS is all I have to say about him. And when you start mocking kids getting killed, you're done. You cross a shark, the guy can pound sand.
Yeah, he's a different breed for sure, but I think the Pittsburgh Steelers on the football field, they need someone. They put themselves in this situation, and Aaron Rodgers, I think they put him in a position where he's going to be so entitled. Whenever he wants to sign, I think they're going to welcome him with open arms. My final question for you before I wrap up.
And you know what? I'm a big believer in karma. And if that's the case, then you watch, they will struggle.
I mean, we saw it with the Jets a couple of years ago, right? Did not last long. Today is nothing to fear day. So is there one fear you have that you would conquer if you could do so? I'm saying with ease, with a snap of the fingers.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this one's gotten worse for me over time, and I've got a few fears, but I wish I would be totally confident flying. The older I get, the less I enjoy flying. Not to the point where I won't do it. I'm just not looking forward to it. So if I could get rid of that with ease, I would do so for sure.
I don't really have a big fear. There's things I'm not good at, but that's not a fear. So I'm not scared of heights. I'm not scared of any, certain animals. Now I'm sure I wouldn't hang out with poisonous snakes, but I'm not I don't have a fear or a phobia of them. So kind of I don't have nightmares or anything like that. So trying to think of a fear. Well, I get, you know what? Actually, I do. I do have a fear of dying young because of my dad. So if I could get rid of that in my subconscious, that'd be fantastic.
That's a good one. Yeah.
No. So try not to think about it, but it does pop up. So yeah, I guess that's a legit one for me. So, well, especially as I get closer to what his age was. I know then it does. You try not to think about it. I know it seems pretty weird, but that's how it is. So that was a little too deep for a sports show. Now let's when we come back, we got the pregame show. Walks is going to join us here live at OTR, Jasper Ave and 118th Street. Lana Ferraro will be by. Of course, the Oilers and the Dallas Stars. Have a little bit of fun over under. Of course, your chance to win some prizes as well. Arvidsson, I don't know, Cons, if you got the Arvidsson quote. I didn't talk about a rookie today. I was talking, and Arvidsson, they kind of rushed in his interview, so I went over there. But then I hit instead of hitting the record button, I hit the pause button, so it didn't record. And he had some very interesting comments about, like, you could tell he was not happy with sitting out 5 games. And I respect it. I understand it, but it was just a little different. So we'll see. Maybe he'll come out as an angry Arvidsson tonight. It could be good. But I'm just going to say this right now. On May 27th, I don't think Victor Arvidsson will be in Edmonton next year. So I heard that there might have even been a trade request earlier this year. So there you go. Let's get to the con man and a sports 1440 update brought to you by Fountain Tire. Are you road ready? If not, stop in at Fountain Tire, because they don't just do tires. They do brakes, do alignments, make sure all your fluid is good, because the last thing you want to be is on the side of the road. You want to be on the road cruising to your next destination. Stop in fountaintire.com.
This is a Sports 1440 update.
Game day Oilers starts down at Rogers Place Puck Drop just after 6 o'clock. Our pregame coverage with Andrew Walker, Donovan Paulson, Gregor, and Landon Ferraro coming up next year on Sports 1440 in the association. Now you got Pacers next from Indianapolis. Pacers lead that series 2-1. Tip-off at 6 as well. And in the majors at 6, Toronto Blue Jays taking on the Rangers down in Arlington right now. Dodgers beat the Guardians 2-0 heading into the third. And in the top of the second, Cards up on the Orioles 1-0 at the Memorial Cup. Battle of the undefeated Medicine Hat Tigers taking on the London Knights. That gets going in about 5 minutes time. That's going to do it for me here on the Jason Gregor Show. We'll hand things over to Donovan Paulson in pregame coverage with Andrew Walker coming up next year on Sports 1440.
Sports 1440 in West Edmonton Mall and Wetaskiwin. CKJR is a Stingray radio station.
Download the free radio player app and listen wherever you go.
Legacy Heating and Cooling jingle auditions take 1 for Gene Principe. Hey, thanks for being on time.
I'm always punctual. Now, how about some cool beats while I drop the heat?
Ready when you are.
Call Legacy. Call Legacy.
Nice.
Boom! I'm a musical genius.
Legacy's going to love this for AC season.
What's not to love with no interest and no Principe payments for 1 year?
Are you always like this?
Yep. Unlike Legacy, I never know when to cool it.
Legacy Heating and Cooling.
A pizza from Papa John's is already pretty great, but you know what's even better? 2 pizzas from Papa John's. For a limited time, get a medium 1-topping pizza for only $6 when you order any large specialty pizza at regular price. The works, the meats. Pick your favorite specialty pizza and get even more delicious Papa John's to enjoy. Whether you're feeding your family, your team, or yourself, get your next meal from your locally owned and operated Papa John's. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
The big one is here at the Brick. Big deals and even bigger savings. Score up to 25% off sofas, sectionals, and recliners. Up to 25% off TV stands, wall units, and fireplaces. Save 50% on beds when you buy 3 matching bedroom pieces. Plus, save the tax when you buy 3 major kitchen appliances. Finally, start sleeping better when you save up to 50% off select mattresses. These big deals won't last long. Some exclusions apply. See in store for details. The Brick, saving you more.
Low Tide, Jason Gregor. They are all ready for the Cup run. Sports 1440 is your home for all things hockey, including our pre- and post-game show with Andrew Walker. Sports 1440 is Edmonton's sports leader.
Are you looking for safe and professional travel options? Look no further than Silent Rides, one of Alberta's premier bus charter companies. Whether your group is big or small, Silent Rides has you covered. We offer state-of-the-art motor coaches, first-class service, and affordable rates. Get your quote today. For more information, call 1-877-748-0991 or visit silentrides.ca.
McDonald's summer drink days are back, which means it's officially summer. Enjoy your refreshing small Coca-Cola or small iced coffee for just $1 all summer. Summer's booming with summer drink days. Excludes flavored iced coffee at participating McDonald's in Canada. Taxes extra. Prices exclude delivery.
Get ready to revolutionize your job site with Edmonton Kubota's game-changing compact construction equipment. From mini excavators and skid steers to track loaders, carriers, and utility vehicles, they have a model to fit every need. All powered by legendary Kubota diesel engines. These machines are built for performance and reliability. Transform your work with Edmonton Kubota's top-of-the-line compact equipment. Visit them today and see why they're the name you can trust for power and precision.
If you bleed orange and blue and you're not using the all-new Play Alberta Sports and Casino app, then you're missing out. It's the only online sportsbook with odds boosts on all Oilers games. And now, it's not just sports. Play the slots, hit the tables, buy lottery tickets, all in one app, all across Alberta. Download Play Alberta now from your phone's app store and use promo code GOAL for a $100 bonus. That's promo code GOAL!
Need a solid foundation without the fuss? Richard and Kalina at DCL Pile Driving have your back. Locally owned, they offer straight, driven piles. No screwing around. Serving all of Alberta, DCL Pile Driving gets your foundation ready in hours with minimal ground disturbance. Perfect for tight spaces, whether it's for a deck, grain bins, or RTMs. Tell them the radio sent you and receive a special discounted rate. Call or text 587-322-PILE. DCL Pile Driving. Don't get screwed. Get piles driven.
Sports 1440 presents the Cross Mitsubishi Pregame Show. Powered by Cross Mitsubishi at 34th Avenue and 96th Street. They offer a huge selection of new and used vehicles. Check them out today. Now, here's your pregame host, Andrew Walker.
Oilers, Stars, game.
All right, game number 4 coming up. We are a little over an hour away from the drop of the puck. Andrew Walker with you. This is the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show brought to you by Cross Mitsubishi, 9605 34th Ave and crossmitsubishi.ca. Drive your ambition as we horn in on the Jason Gregor Show here at On the Rocks. Now, Greg's the second time I've been in this bar sober. It's wonderful. What a great space.
But it's really nice in here, sober or inebriated. It's good, right? Gives you a little bit more understanding of how big it is and how fun it is.
Okay, so do you remember 06, the run?
Yeah.
And then obviously, there was old Northlands but probably, I mean, as a working media member, 06 was the first time you had really probably experienced the arena being transformed with Stanley Cup final because once the final hits, as you know, with the international TV trucks and everything, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was
right?
It was pretty packed.
Yeah, and it's just like it doesn't even resemble what a normal regular season game would. The whole arena looked transformed, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I feel about On the Rocks. If you're here during the afternoon, you just come in for a nice lunch. I was like, they serve lunch?
Yep.
It's like the only time I've been here. It's like the Roxy in Vancouver. You end up at On the Rocks.
It's true.
So yeah, here's another sober day at On the Rocks. With
Tuesdays
Jason
at
Gregor Show.
OTR on a playoff game. It gets pretty good in here.
Well, I was talking to Buddy Story. What's the manager's name? Yeah. So I was saying, cart before the horse, and I think a lot of people are not struggling with this, but right now, so I was downtown today. A couple of people asked, "Hey, do you think the Oilers can beat Florida?" I was like, "Man, they're not done with Dallas yet, right?" Like I know I struggle with that too. You look ahead to the Panthers, and by the way, it would be an all-time series. I'm telling you right now, it would be an absolute war.
Good. Yeah.
But knock on wood, you got to get through Dallas first. However, I was telling Sean, I was like, "Man, can you imagine if this is actually the year if they actually do it? Can you imagine OTR on a Friday night after the Oilers? Oof, I don't even want to go there."
Well, there's the thing about if you win, there's so many generation of fans who haven't won, and there's some who have lost. Right, 06,
2 Game 7s,
right?
yeah,
and 2024. So you would think about Oilers fans, and they have friends or somebody, maybe their dad or their mom or whatever. Somebody's like, "Yeah, I was there in the '80s and then in 1990," and it is a different feeling for fans. And I will say that what's different now for fans is there's more opportunities. You come to On the Rocks, maybe because there's only a small percentage that actually get to be at the game, right? If it's even a home game, right? So because if you win the cup for a road game, people have the watch parties or wherever, but you're in big bars and stuff like that. And there was some of it back then, but it's not nearly as much as there is now.
Not like it is now.
And if it's a home game, well, you've got the arena, then you've got the moss pit and all that stuff, and you have all the bars downtown. Like, it would be a party for hours and hours and hours. And, all I would say is I hope Edmontonians, you know what, do a good job of celebrating in a good way, if indeed they win.
Okay, so I was thinking about something today. So here's a bit of a mini rant, and this is in the category of really things that do not matter, but they might matter. I'm about to go all Toronto Maple Leaf on you, the whole plan the parade thing. If the Oilers did win, what are they going to do for the parade? Have you been downtown?
Yeah.
Like Jasper Ave, screwed. 104th,
really
done. Like every little inroad. So we don't live far from OTR. I walked over here, about 5 blocks away. You can't. It's like Maze Runner, even getting to our place. Yeah. The Stanley Cup parade, knock on wood, is going to be in 3 weeks. What would they do?
They would probably have to do something, I would think, around Commonwealth, because I know they had a parade in there once before, because you can get a lot of people in. There's not as much construction over there. I know it's
What are you going to do with the bodies? Like, dump them out with
It's not around the arena.
Yeah, what a great area.
They might have to, I don't know, they might have to go.
The Stanley Cup might get stolen.
Maybe you go down from the arena, you do the parade from the arena down 107th over to Commonwealth. Maybe that's what you do.
That's terrible.
I don't know. Where else are you going to do it?
Exactly. That's my point.
Trust me,
that's my point.
I'm not a parade planner. I never even thought of that.
I was thinking today.
I would fail.
Well,
fail at that.
You know what's so funny is that, it's a cliche.
People are going to hate you, by the way, for even mentioning the parade. I'm just going to say.
Well, listen, it's a cliche because people are like, plan the parade.
Yeah.
You signed Marner or whatever. So, plan the parade.
No one ever said plan the parade.
No, I'm saying, but here's the funny thing is that everyone gets mad when you do, plan the parade. But as running a major metropolitan city, guess what? The parade has been planned already.
Oh, yeah.
You have to. Yeah. That's how logistically you have to do it.
Yeah, you have to have the plan.
But I'm fascinated to see what that would be because every road is closed.
Oh, well, I guess
awful.
Maybe it'd be a walking parade.
Right.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? Though?
Get your steps
in.
in.
Maybe they could do like they have those big, you have like the dual cycles. And somebody's riding, and then you got the player on the back of it. And you could use all the bike lanes.
Oh, like
everybody
what do they do? The pedaling breweries.
Yeah, well,
that'd be great.
I've done that. That's a lot of fun.
That'd be very Edmonton, by the way.
Yeah.
The Cross Mitsubishi pregame show here on Sports 1440. Game time is going to come up quick. Okay, so lots to get to. I look at this series. And it feels like it has been. It's different than last year, because as last year it felt like the Dallas Stars, pundit-wise, maybe fans didn't feel this way. People talked about the Stars' depth and the Oilers were this huge underdog, blah blah blah, and then they won game 1, lost game 2, kind of a reverse of what this series has been. They lost game 3, Dallas came back. Then one of the biggest wins of the playoffs was the comeback winning game 4 against the Stars. Then the Oilers won game 5 and game 6. This year. Again, I feel like a lot of people are already talking about Florida because it does feel, and it's true, like the Oilers are in complete control of the series. They've won objectively 7 of 9 periods.
Yes. And they've won 8 of 9 at 5-on-5.
Right. That said, Dallas is very good. Dallas is not Vegas, and Dallas is not LA.
See, I don't think Dallas hasn't showed me much at all in this series. Their 5-on-5 play
you're right.
is exactly what it was in their first 2 series.
But Dallas is here for a reason. I can't get over that. And here's my point, okay? I don't even say that Dallas needs to outplay Edmonton because things happen, right? They still got Jake Ottinger. They still got Mikko Rantanen. Like, Dallas could get outplayed tonight, a la, maybe the reverse of Game 6 last year where Stuart Skinner was the difference. Dallas get outplayed tonight and get a fluky goal or an overtime goal, and all of a sudden, this series is tied at 2 heading back to Dallas. Like, this series is just not safe yet, is my point. Not by any means. And Dallas has a lot to say about it. I happened just randomly the other night. I was on the street and I ran into past some of the Stars. As Mikko Rantanen and this Rupe Hintz, all the Finns, right? Hintz wasn't limping, by the way. And they just, they were smiling. They're having a good time. They're feeling good about themselves. But it's weird, right? Because last game, Dallas is like, we're pretty happy with our game. And they lost by 5. Like, it's such a weird, I just think tonight,
the coach
tonight is if I didn't have so much faith in the Oilers leadership and like the been there, done that, and how dialed in these guys can get, and they've proven they are. I'm not saying I'm worried. I'm saying I would be a little concerned about tonight if it was anybody but the Oilers, if that makes sense. I think they're in for one.
Well, the Oilers, I think they've experienced a lot of loss. I think they realized, and they talked about how, the Florida series, I don't think they ever, you don't get over losing, but they didn't get over how they lost. They kind of blew some games early. They felt they should have had it. So
game
they made
1 and game 3.
Right. Made it so much harder on themselves. And you know what? They extended the Vancouver series. Same thing. I don't think they really loved their game 5. So I look at Edmonton, and tonight they see the big picture, and they don't look past it, but they look and say, hey, tonight we win. Now we're up 3-1. That's all they care about. And I think Edmonton, they've scored first in every game. Dallas has only led for 14 minutes the whole series, and those are the final 14 minutes of game 1. I think Dallas desperately, if they don't get a lead in the game, I think it's really hard for them to win, because Edmonton really hasn't been in a real big uncomfortable. They were annoyed at themselves by being undisciplined and not being able to kill a penalty. But even then, Connor Brown came back, hit a goalpost when it was 4-3, right? Like, Edmonton still had chances even after
Frederick had a wonderful chance.
After they kind of caved on the penalty kill. So I don't know if the most uncomfortable Edmonton's been was game 3, the second period for a bit, and then they still broke even because McDavid scored a great goal, and that's the advantage of having a great player, is all it takes is one play. And to me, the interesting thing is, I know it sounds odd, but Connor McDavid, as good as he's played, hadn't been dominant. He scored him 8. That was, I think, his most important goal he scored at the playoffs. That 3-1 goal, because Dallas had all the momentum,
100%,
and he stuffed it out late.
Backbreaker goal.
And now, like, as good as McDavid's played, and I said it earlier, he was like the 4th best player in the game, and he had a really good game. He can still go to another level, and so Dallas can.
And
has
so
lots of
and
guys.
So can Draisaitl.
Right, but that's the advantage Edmonton has, and I think that they just their pain of losing will help them. Not, and hey, Dallas has lost 2 conference finals, but Edmonton is a better team, and I think when you're a better team and that confidence and knowledge of knowing what happens if you don't put your best foot forward tonight, I think that's what they have win. And Dallas, they're not quicker. They're not quicker than Edmonton. So I don't see how they're magically going to get better tonight.
By the way, Weiss Johnson text line is open, 1-833-401-1440. I didn't mean to start this. Now people are talking about the parade, and I started this. That's bad luck. And some people are saying, come on, Walks, settle down. I'm with you. As I walked here and had to cross Jasper multiple times to get around the pylons, I was thinking, isn't this where the parade is supposed to be? So that's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is that, we decided to fix Edmonton City roads. City Council, take a listen. We decided to fix all of Edmonton's roads at once. Like, it's just awful planning is my point.
Or maybe it's great planning because it's one-time pay.
Yeah, right. It'll all be done perfectly at the same time. Yes, of course. Andrew Walker, Jason Gregor, Donovan Paulson back at West Edmonton Mall. We are about, it's going to be quarter after puck drop. So we're about an hour away from drop of the puck tonight, game 4, Stars and Oilers. To sum up this whole thought that I had, it was not that I'm okay. If you are ready to win, right? If you are a legit contender, every time the Oilers have put themselves in a situation like tonight, down 2-1, backs against the wall, down 3-2 in a series, down 2-0 in a series. We've seen it a dozen times, it feels like, over the last 4 years. They always win. They always come out good, right? Always.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I look at a team like the Dallas Stars, if they truly believe, we're a contender, we don't worry about getting down a little bit in the series. Like, this is the classic game where the Oilers should come out and have their best game of the series, no questions asked. We've seen that multiple times. I guess my question is, are the Stars that team, or are they just not?
I haven't seen, like, Dallas has gone through the whole playoffs with being below average 5-on-5. And I just think eventually it catches up with them.
Well, they should be out. Same as Winnipeg should be out. You could make the case the Oilers should be out too, but
well, yes and no. To me, Edmonton, when they dominated LA after that. But I just look, Dallas got through their series and won because their power play was unreal. That's what they won. So I don't ever punish a team if you have the good thing, but eventually your 5-on-5 game, I went through it. No team in NHL history has made it to the Stanley Cup final with a negative goal forward differential at 5-on-5. They're now -8. They're -6 in the series in only 3 games. Like, to get outscored 5-on-5 by 2 goals every game, it's virtually impossible to win. You could do it once in a while, but that's where they're at right now. And to me, now, hey, they're going to hope, hey, maybe we can get Edmonton to take some penalties and our power play can get running. Because let's be honest, Edmonton's only gone 2 games without giving up a power play goal. I'm not sitting here to say their penalty kill is suddenly on fire. They also don't have Connor Brown tonight. So, that could be a small thing. Edmonton's got to play discipline. But Edmonton, it's so funny because their power play has actually scored a goal in 3 straight games. Doesn't seem like it's dominant because the goal they scored was the 6th goal from John Klingberg, right, in game 3. And everyone's talking about their 5-on-5 play, which is the majority of the games. There's only, a grand total of maybe 8 minutes a game now that it's power play, right? So if you can't win 5-on-5, I just don't see how Dallas is going to come back in the series.
Yeah, and again, this has been for the Oilers. I mean, one of the criticisms has been over the last number of years that, and I agree with you, you shouldn't apologize for it. If you win games based on your power play, that's part of the game.
Yeah, it's totally
You
part of
shouldn't
the game.
apologize for having literally the best power play in NHL history. They've cruised through 2.5 series now with, an average power play and no Ekholm. They're literally their best all-around defenseman. So yeah, it's, things are looking up. And this is not me trying to find ways or concoct ideas that, how do the Oilers lose this game? How do the Stars win this game? But here's a question I thought too. Let's say the Oilers won that game 3-2. Let's say Dallas came on in the 3rd and scored 1 and Oilers held on. Would we feel differently heading into game 4? But the Oilers just ran away from them and hid. And we're already looking ahead to Florida. I think that's just a little disingenuous. I still think
I'm not looking ahead to Florida.
Dallas has a lot to say.
I'm just saying I don't expect Dallas, from what I've seen through 3 games, to suddenly be able to control the majority of the game 5-on-5. And that's what I think they have to do to win, unless Edmonton is going to get undisciplined and take penalties.
In a lot of ways, it feels like last year too. I'm sure you've talked about this on your show this week, but I mean, it's crazy, right? Like, no one's going to debate the fact that Jake Ottinger isn't a good goalie. This is a 2nd straight year. Stuart Skinner has kind of taken his lunch money. I think that's probably the most important guy.
Well, Stuart Skinner
the Dallas Stars side.
In his career, Stuart Skinner has the 5th best save percentage in conference final history.
And we're getting into his money zone because he's historically been kind of dog crap games 1 through 3. Game 4, 5, 6, 7. You all know the stats. Stuart Skinner is basically prime Dominic Hasek. So, and I feel like Stuart Skinner is a guy that knows that.
Yeah, he might. Yeah. The thing about Skinner is he's pretty good. Anybody who listens to his interview, you talk to him, he's pretty good at kind of, he's very resilient. He bounces back if he has a tough game. How many times have people counted him out? I could go through the text line and, King and Assy says, Gregor, you talk Oilers fans off the ledge all year long. You should be saying, I told you so more. And, and Skinner was one. I said, hey.
Victory laps.
But Stuart Skinner has shown you time and time again he can bounce back. Yeah, he'll have a game that's maybe not up to your liking, and that's fine. But he has way more good games than bad games, even in the playoffs.
Antoine on the old text line says, hey, boys, I hate using the P word, but couldn't we use White Avenue? It's an option.
Well, doesn't it? Now, I've never thought about it. Now the Elks, when they have their parades, it was always inside. Usually, not always, but sometimes. But I don't know, like in hockey or in any other sport.
Elks haven't won anything, by the way.
Well, and won in 15. They won more recent than the Oilers. Actually, they won 3 times. Actually, even more than that since the Oilers won, like 5.
They weren't the Elks. Not to get all political on your show.
But either way, the organization. But I don't know, and someone might know. Doesn't a parade have to connect to your facility? Maybe it doesn't. I don't know if they do that in bigger markets, but I'm always curious.
Well, they would end it. They would end it at the. That's why it's there. They would end it at the Moss Pit, 100%. That's where the not even then, but
like
to
the beaches and stuff.
That would be probably to the east of the arena. Yeah. It might not even be the Moss Pit. It might be at the auxiliary.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I feel bad for even.
Yeah, you
bringing
brought it up.
I was walking through construction. I'm not.
It's a good.
I'm
thing
not
you're
saying
on
plan the
social
parade.
media.
I'm
They'd
not.
be all over you.
I'm not. This should be a segment of the show. I'm not saying.
People are
going
to come in here and throw beer at you. Jasper Ave, 118th.
Yes, we're at On the Rocks. By the way, in the post game show tonight, I will be at Smoke Barbecue and Bar 103rd. So it's another pub crawl night for old walks. The River Cree over under brought to you by the River Cree Resort and Casino, where you can watch all the Edmonton Oilers playoff games. Tap 25 in the center bar. RiverCreeResort.com. Zach Hyman had an all-time stat line in game number 3. +5. This is silly, right? +5, 2 goals, another 10 hits. We're getting into Cal Clutterbuck territory.
5
like
shots.
It's like Mr. Hyman, his dad, is doing the counting right now, but he's hitting everything that moves. So, unbelievable. So we're going to focus on Zach Hyman's hit tonight, and I'm going to make it super easy to win or super easy to take the over. I know you like taking the over anyway. He's averaging about 10 a night, which is absurd.
Well, no, he's got 109 in 14 games.
Yeah, so it's about 10 a night.
Well, no, that'd be 140. So he's at 109.
Okay,
What,
so
are you Rashad right now?
What, 8.5? Like, that's almost 10. All right, but my point is, man, I went to Western Broadcast Academy.
There you go, yeah.
You know how that I got my post-secondary, like I got a diploma. They sent it to me in a Pepsi box, like a folded up. So I'm not educated, right? Anyway, not quite 10 a night, 8.5, whatever. 6.5. That's the line, right? So we're making it easy. Zach Hyman's averaging 8. We're going 6.5 tonight. Over or under on Zach Hyman's hits 6.5. Send us a text.
It's actually not a bad number because he's had a few big ones. He had 13.
I know.
12.
I'm daring people to take the under. I'm daring them because 6.5 hits. That's a lot.
Still a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So 1-833-401-1440 over or under, and we could send you $100 to the River Cree Resort and Casino. Okay, Greg's got to get out of here because he's heading to the game. I will see you down there in about 45 minutes from now. We'll finish off the pregame show here at On the Rocks, which is a wonderful place to watch the game, by the way. Great drink specials. We were here for game number 1, which was great until it wasn't on the scoreboard. But, this is an amazing place. Great food specials, great drink specials on the Rocks on Jasper Ave and 118th. It is the Cross Mitsubishi pregame show. We will be back after this with Landon Farrar, a former NHLer for Honda Canada. Sports 1440.
You can expect 2 things this spring, oil country: playoff beards and weird car noises after coming back from winter LTIR. Don't let something like a worn-out transmission or